mad disrespectful to not put these.
Fam, I haven't been able to put a hat like this on my head in 32 years.
Oh,
this
my gosh,
going
fam.
on my head.
Oh, and let me tell you guys something. Look, the show, man, we're doing our regular show. We're doing our, actually, let me go and introduce the show. But I'm giving you guys a heads up. Towards the end of the show, there will be a segment where we will be talking about how the Dodgers made us feel, okay? So for you wackos who'd be like, yo, fam, you talking about sports? Fam, somebody got on a video. I don't even know how many episodes ago. I got a notification, and he said, yo, you guys need to stick to sneakers and football. Don't even dare talk about basketball. I'm like, what episode is this?
Sneakers started with basketball. I mean, that's where Jordan 1s came from.
Yeah, but then you'll come to like a new episode of somebody like, yo, fam.
They said the opposite. Yeah.
I love this podcast. All right, yo, Stink This Podcast, episode 222. George Greg back in the building.
I don't love this podcast on election night. I'm trying to be home following stuff.
Nah, I know you don't.
Nah. I mean, listen,
no, you don't.
It's good to be here during the World. Okay, so let me just take one step back. So from now on, all the heat, this type of sports fan I am, when your team wins a championship, there's a 5-year moratorium on complaining. So not other sports, but as a Dodger fan, I can't complain about one thing for 5 years because we won a championship. That's my general rule in sports.
Fam, I'm not calling for nobody to be fired. I don't care. Fam, we got a World Series.
5-year moratorium.
Period. So, all right.
So I don't even remember where I was going with that. I'm gonna have to rewind the show and listen to it.
I've seen cats talking about fire the coach on the Eagles, and I'm like, fam, y'all got a Super Bowl in Philadelphia. Shut up. All right. I'm not saying nothing.
The only thing is, it might not have been an Eagles fan who was saying that. If it's an Eagles fan, you shouldn't be saying that. You got 5 years. Somebody wins a championship, they get 5 years for whatever. Period. I'm not complaining about one. Damn. You won't see any tweets. Now, you might see like tweets next year, like, because people know how I am. If they follow my, not Boost Knob account, but my other account, as far as sports, they know how I am. So I'm still going to be talking nonsense about the Raiders, talking nonsense about Arizona basketball, USC football. I mean, I don't like losing. Like, we talk about that on the show every week. But Dodgers, 5 years moratorium, World Series champs, fam. If you're not a Dodger fan.
It's a good feeling. We're going to talk about that a little bit. George, you got any pickups? Anything this week? Anything come in?
Yeah.
Dodger stuff. We got to talk about the Dodger stuff we bought.
Well, some of it got canceled, but yeah. Undefeated.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's did.
Undefeated did a championship shirt like the minute the series ended, and I copped one for Greg, one for me, one for my wife. And then like the next day or whatever, they canceled all of them. They said they're unexpectedly not printing them. So, which, whatever. I mean, things happen. Corona. Maybe they got some kind of cease and desist or something.
I need reasons.
I understand that. But so then you sent me a link to Born and Raised or Born Times Raised or Born and Raised. By Raised or however people say the X. I just say Born and Raised. They did, so the black shirt was the one you first sent me. That was the one I copped. Then they did, like later the same night, a blue T-shirt and a blue hoodie. And obviously, the stuff that's Dodger blue is, I would want it. But when I started looking at like the graphics on the front and the back, especially on the front, there's like a little LA Dodger logo, and the Dodger logo is blue. Right. So the blue logo on a blue shirt didn't look right. I don't know why they just didn't do the logo white. I think
it's like chromed out. Like they kind of made it look like.
Oh, maybe it is. But that shirt is fire, and it's an official MLB shirt because it has the World Series logo on it. The Undefeated shirt wasn't. You know how Undefeated does stuff. They just do stuff like for the city of LA. Lakers won a championship. Los Angeles championship.
And the best thing about the Born and Raised shirt, the best part about the Born and Raised shirt, it lets you know that it's a 47 shirt.
Yeah, it's 47 brand collab.
Yeah, so like, and it tells you to size up. Like if let me tell you anybody who buys a 47 brand shirt, period, always size up. Period. Don't even think like I wear a medium. No, all right, size up all the time. And so yeah, I bought that blue one. I had to buy the blue one. I only bought the blue one because the black one, I like the black one, but like I felt like I would have only wanted to wear a blue Dodgers hat. We've bought so many versions of hats this year. Yeah. I felt like it's easier to wear a blue shirt with like a lemonade hat if I wanted to. I didn't want to wear a blue on blue hat. Like, one, because it's too much blue for me. But you know what I mean. What else you cop?
But yeah, so they did that shirt, the black one I copped. Then this hat, obviously, World Series champs. haven't been able to wear one of these. You get the benefit of the side patch because you're on that side of the table. I'm over here and no one can see. Yes. No one can see me.
We can start putting the camera on this side.
Nah, man, I'm not worried about that.
Oh, okay.
I'm worried about people watching the show. Are we doing this? Are we waiting
side patch
to do? Wait, okay. There's something over here that.
But shout out, no, don't pick up. But shout out to Hat Club.
Yeah, something came in for us. Hat Club knew what team to send us. We appreciate it. I'm assuming in the future episode you're gonna do the screen wine colored, maybe. I don't know. Well, whatever.
We need to do a sneaker draft this year. Maybe we'll do that next week. And then we got the ones from, like we said, the Fitted Gallery sent us some LA hats. So
yes, which I think you're going to add to the end of the show. So we interviewed them first, but then it's going to be at the end, I think. So it's kind of awkward talking about it for us right now, or maybe not the end, but either way. What did I cop? I copped those whack Air Max 1s from East Bay. The ones I sent you the picture of. The upper is fire, gray and like pink.
Simple.
Yes.
Oh, you could tell those.
The upper is fire. You couldn't tell. You could tell in the pictures the black leather part was kind of cheap, but you couldn't tell that the white leather toe box was cheap. It is not leather. It's plastic, 100%. Some of the worst materials I've ever seen on any sneaker. Even the upper, with like maybe like a tiny bit of suede and like mostly canvas or whatever, is kind of whack. The colors of the upper are fire. That like grayish and the light red or light pink.
That shit was fire. Like I thought it was cool.
No. The upper part of the shoe I'm talking about, the from the swoosh up.
I mean, like when you guys had sent it, or
the white stitching on the toe box was dumb, but it would be fine if the toe box just was like the leather that they used on the Pinnacles. You know what I mean? As opposed to like just some whack GR Air Force One, or Air Max 1. I don't know what to call it. Like, it's really plastic. Like, it's not, fam. I opened the box and I opened the box. I wanted to throw the shoe across the room. I didn't. I went to put it. East Bay. Okay. I went to put it back in the box. I was like, you know what? Let me send them a picture real quick. I put it back in the box and put the box next to the door. I haven't looked at it since. One of the worst shoes I've ever seen in my entire life. The upper half of the upper is fire color blocking. The rest of the shoe is like okay color blocking, but the materials just are. You could tell when you put that on your foot, it would feel like just a block of cement. It like the toe box wouldn't even bend and let you walk.
I thought Rico was the only one because we have our text thread, but like a lot of people are saying those fire red 4s are the worst 4s of all time. Man.
No, he was talking about 2012. The last one. I saw a video.
Some other people talking about.
Oh yeah, maybe. I saw a video on YouTube and they said the materials on the toe box were nice. Like the leather was nice. Like it. Basically, he said expect the toe box to crease a lot because the leather is nice, like soft.
I feel like 4s are like mandatory crease.
Well, of course, it's
4s
like
and
ones
and
whatever.
3s.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Obviously, we got those hats. We picked this up. Picked the other Dodger stuff up. I wanted to buy the Dodgers like official parade shirt, but it has a Fanatics logo on it. I don't care about no Fanatics stuff. Now, I'm assuming it's a Fanatics approved MLB shirt, and that's what they'll wear if they ever do a parade. Which is the only reason I wanted it, because who knows when your team's ever going to win a championship again. Now, the Dodgers are a good franchise, so they could win another one next year. But
back to back.
Sure, they could win with that ownership group and the money they have, assuming Corona ends at some point, that team could win 5 championships in a row just as easily as they could lose 8 in a row. You know what I mean? I don't care. Like I said, it's a 5-year moratorium for me as a fan in general. But I wanted to buy the parade shirt, and when I saw the Fanatics logo, because it's just like black and gold. It's a black T-shirt with gold writing, and I was like, I already got the one black shirt. I don't dislike it. It's the official parade shirt. I was like, shit.
Like, that's why I don't like it. Like, to me, Dodger blue is just as iconic as the Yankee Navy pinstripes. Like,
of course.
There's nothing like Dodger blue. Of
course.
So, like, having the championship, I was like, black and gold.
Well, I'm sure the Lakers was the same thing. It's just a parade shirt. I'm sure, the trophy is silver or gold or whatever. Right. You know what I mean? Platinum, whatever it is.
What does the Dodgers one look like, the trophy? Is it?
What do you mean?
Like, is it the same? It's the same one every year.
Yeah,
right?
MLB.
Oh, okay. I see like another one.
The one with all the pennants around the
Okay,
field.
but like when they get it, they put their own stuff on the bottom of it, right? Like their own.
I think they get their own trophy. It's not one trophy. It's not like the Stanley Cup that gets like passed around.
It's their own trophy, but I think like teams will put their own badge or something around it, something on it.
I'm sure the like names of the players, the roster stuff probably goes on there. Then so I got that Air Max 1 that sucks.
And it's
I caught what?
Third best championship trophy, the baseball trophy. Number one is Stanley
If you
Cup.
do like golf and all that stuff, it might be lower than that, but the baseball one's still fire.
It's fire, but like number one trophy to me of all time is still Stanley Cup. Stanley Cup.
I can't even think of what the NBA trophy looks like. Like I can think of what the NBA
ball and that little
MVP.
thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that sucks. The MVP NBA trophy is kind of cool. With Jerry West, I think dribbling or whatever on it. Isn't Jerry West on it?
Oh, the clear one. I think it's just a clear.
I don't think so.
No, it's a brown one. Jerry West dribbling.
Yeah, someone's dribbling, or someone's dribbling. Maybe it's not Jerry West, but someone's dribbling on that trophy.
Jerry West.
Because it's a player on top of the thing.
Heisman might be up there.
Heisman's fire, especially with the pose, and players like to do the pose during playing when they're playing or whatever.
French Open is fire.
Copped like 8 items from the Ivy Park drop. Shout out Adidas for sending me a free thing in the box with it. I was like, Hannah, you want this? I didn't pay for it. Here you go. Hannah was like, yep. So Hannah kept
ordered so much they were baffled. They just started throwing stuff in the box.
You're right. Hannah got. I don't know that she was planning to keep anything, but I was like, I made so much off what I sold that I made more than what I paid, and she got that bag free, and then that thing they put in the box on accident. So
you know how heated somebody? Them beanies sold out. Somebody.
That's what I told Don.
Somebody eat it.
I was talking to Don. I was like, bro, somebody gonna be upset when Adidas cancels their beanie order.
They will be heated.
Now the beanies ain't reselling for too much, so if that gets canceled, somebody could just go online and buy it. I think the beanies are like $30 and only reselling for $45. So, but I bought way too many pieces of Ivy Park. I bought them from SNS and Adidas. Pretty much sold everything. Hannah kept one of the side bags. I thought she would have liked the green side bag better, but she liked the like brownish color one.
Oh, okay.
So she got that, and then she likes bucket hats. I copped 4 bucket hats. I got 2 from Adidas and 2 from SNS. And SNS, I used a code. I don't know why it allowed me to check out. And I wish I would have done it all in one order. I did it in 3 orders, so I paid for shipping 3 times. It was stupid, but I already sold everything and made money on it because I got used the coupon code plus like it was priced lower from the European conversion somehow.
Logical buying just does not fly anymore. Like, you just got a cop.
Well, yeah, but I was, fam, it sat for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I was shocked that it was sitting. I mean, it came out at like midnight or 1 a.m. our time. So I understand why, like, maybe people in New York or the East Coast or whatever would have been asleep.
Right.
But as far as how fast it flew on Adidas, like some of the pieces on Adidas were sold out from the early access that I had. I had early access at like 9 in the morning. The first, I'm assuming, wave of early access. Because even Twitter accounts that talk about shoe releases weren't even saying like, you might have early access at 9. And they talk about early access on everything.
I, for some reason, had just got in there really early. I didn't even get the notification yet. Like, I got the notification the day before.
Yeah, so did I.
And then, like, I woke up in the morning, and for some reason, I went in Adidas in the morning. It wasn't for that. It wasn't for nothing. I just was like, open up the Adidas app for some reason, and I clicked it, and I could have bought everything. Like, I went to Rocio, hey, Rocio, you want any of this stuff? Like, what do you want? And she looked at it, and she didn't care for them. I thought maybe she'd want a side bag or something, you know. Yeah. I mean, I kind of look at that, like, for women, maybe not women, but, like, you just want something, like, to say you got it because it's Beyonce. I don't know if you necessarily are like, oh, my God. Like, she was looking at the sweatpants, and she was like, buy a Lululemon pants. Like, what doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm assuming Adidas' pants are fairly high quality for that stuff, but I've never seen any of it.
Adidas clothing is dramatically better than Nike clothing. All of it.
I'm saying like
the Ivy Park stuff.
No. Well, I would imagine they would probably make that a little bit higher quality, but I'm saying no compared to Lululemon or whatever.
What else you copped? That was it?
No. So I got a bunch of pieces there from Ivy Park. I sold most of it. Like I said, Hannah kept 2 things. Today, I bought anthracite foams with a discount code.
Maybe buy those there.
So Nike, they released, or maybe just some sizes released. Cop those with a discount. That's a flippable shoe. I wish I would have got a 12.5 because it would have been like $50 more that I would have been able to make on it. But mine
12. Oh, okay. I keep that, fam.
Yeah. All right. And a pink Nike beanie. They had like a Nike SB beanie on the website. and I was shocked it didn't sell out the first day. I was like, let me just add this to my cart, and whenever I check out, I'll just have the code preloaded with the beanie, and whatever I add to the cart, it will add in there. So added that, or copped that today. I think that might be it. I don't think I bought anything for myself. I copped 2 of the shoes off Ivy Park too, and sold both of those, like women's sizes 8 and 9. The one that looks like a creeper.
Oh, okay. That's
shoe.
the one to buy if you.
Well, apparently that green, what you call
possible,
fam?
That Ultra Boost?
No, not the green. Oh. No, not the Ultra Boost. That one that weighs 1 million pounds.
The Night Jogger?
That shoe sells for like $160, and apparently resale on that for in some sizes was like $240. So you can make more on that shoe than you could on that creeper shoe, which is reverse from the first release. Everyone wanted the creeper shoe.
I think you just probably got to hold the creeper shoe for a little bit.
Maybe. I already sold both of them, but yeah, you might be right.
I thought about buying that one and holding it for a bit. I just was like, it was so early in the morning. I didn't even feel like touching the screen. I was scrolling.
On what, Ivy Park?
Yeah, I was looking at stuff. I was just like...
the only reason I did it was because it's Adidas and you can return it. You know what I mean? And plus I knew all the accecessories were the things that were high from the first release.
I was going to grab all the socks. I was going to grab all that stuff. That's what I was going to go for. That was it.
I can't think of any other shoe that I got. I mean, maybe I did get something, but I thought about copping on Swingers post today. 450 is a hitter though, and 900 is a double 450 is a double hitter.
So was for the
I don't need the Air Max 1 red. I have those still DS at home, but
yeah. The Safari,
he told me to make him an offer, so I'm sure he would have sold it to me for less. But I just said to him like, "Fam, you trying to get me kicked out the house or like sleeping on the couch or something?" Like I said, if you don't sell them for what you want, let me know, and then maybe we can work something out. But I don't like making offers on stuff for like. I know he would have sold it to me for less, but like. Say he only wanted 300 and I was like, oh, I'll do 375. I'd be mad at myself.
Right. I don't want making offers to strangers. I definitely like making offers to people I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Not at all. But them Volcanoes, a Volcano 5.
It looked pretty nice too.
Ooh, it's gently worn, it said.
Well, yeah, the other one.
See any Volcano 5s
I probably should have. I don't know if he sold them or not. I probably should have bought those. And the reason I say that is because a Volcano is harder to find than a animal.
I think you should have really like look. That's one of those ones where like you look in the closet and you find 4 things to sell for $80 and buy them. You get rid of something. That's the shoe, because that's always number one, number 2, number 3 in your A6 list.
Listen,
it's the greatest ace of all time.
It probably is. Had I not bought a laptop and 2 Union 4s and still had that money, I would have bought those probably.
Dang.
I can't think of anything else I bought. Like I want to say I did, but the one thing I didn't say is the Nike.
You need a cook group.
All right. The Nike Dodgers World Series shirts, I am copping, but I'm going to wait till they release on Nike so I can use. I have a gift card and I'm going to get a code, so I'll use that.
I'm going to buy it. I don't like it, but I'm going to buy it. I think I might buy the sleeveless hoodie too. I can see myself wearing that sleeveless hoodie and chewing bubblegum extremely fast in the driveway. So
New England coach.
I hate that. I hate that. Bill Belichick. I hate that sleeveless hoodie.
I can't buy that one.
But I just want to wear it, man. I just want to be a champion. I just want to wear it.
I mean, all the other stuff is champion gear, too.
I don't care, man. Like,
the attitude that I had before, I mean, like, right when it happened, I said I'm copping everything. I think the only things I did, because I copped Undefeated and they canceled, so I can't be blamed for that.
Right.
But I think the only things I didn't cop that I wanted was, like, the parade shirt. But like I said, it's, like, got a Fanatics logo on. I don't care. I don't care about the shirt they wore on the field, because that's another Fanatics shirt. Majestic MLB collab or whatever. No, I want the Nike... Because Nike makes baseball stuff now.
Right.
They've been making the jerseys. So that's why, like, I don't know why they weren't wearing Nike shirts on the field when the game ended. That didn't make any sense to me.
I copped the
But I will cop all the Nike shirts.
I copped the Born and Raised blue. I copped the tie-dye 47. I copped
I wish I would have copped that.
The Kill the Hype upside down ring one. I copped that one. That one's fire.
You sent me another shirt and I didn't buy it.
I owe you money for this one. You copped this one for me.
But with the code, shout out Hat Club for sending me a code.
Shout out to Hat Club. I bought something else too, but I can't remember what it is. I wrote it down. I was like, man, you gotta remember what it is. My wool gray Ultra Boost. Those came in. Shout out to homie Ric Flair. I think you might be right. No, I've bought more Ultra Boosts this year than I probably bought any other year, even when they were cracking.
Olives are fire. I've worn olives twice already. I wore it on I was about to say Thanksgiving. I wore it on Halloween and like yesterday.
You did it with that dog. I was like, "They look at him. I'm about to go play football."
That's as close as I get to a Halloween costume as an orange T-shirt.
Oh, you offended a lot of people, boy.
Why?
It was heated. They was like, "Yo, what's up with you, man?"
He didn't wear a costume.
Adults shouldn't wear Halloween costumes.
Yeah, no one should.
And I said,
that stuff is embarrassing.
Somebody was like, "Yo," and you said ghost or trash. I was gonna dress as a ghost. I was like, "Fam, if you were grown up and you dress as a ghost," I was like, "Fam, come on."
Oh, you said that. I didn't say that.
I said ghost or trash, and they was like, "Fam, I was gonna dress as a ghost. Ghosts are trash."
Fam,
ghosts don't even use their powers correctly.
The funniest thing is Slimer from Ghostbusters. Hannah had bought her nephew a Slimer. So it's pandemic, obviously. So like, they're trying to get things where like you have a little distance, I guess, to get candy. So it's like a Slimer thing on a stick where the Slimer ghost is the bag that they put the candy in when you say Happy Halloween. The funniest thing on the front, the picture of Slimer is like his teeth. Fam, you want to talk about a picket fence?
Slimer always has teeth.
No. I mean, like, they look worse than LeVar Ball's teeth, though.
LeVar Ball didn't have picket fence teeth.
Well, whoever you were making fun of with picket fence teeth.
Oh, yeah.
And yellow.
Perfect sneakers, whatever his name is.
Fam, the teeth on Slimer's thing are like this far apart. There's a gap in between each one. I said, fam, I am glad my teeth don't look like that. And I told my nephew, I was like, you know why you don't just eat all the candy? Because your teeth will look like that.
Fam, I was like, they was like, yeah, you said ghosts are trash, and George said adults, and y'all messed up. And I said, fam, we're talking about ourselves, okay? But me and everybody else. But and he was like, yo, why is ghost trash? I was like, fam, a ghost is. If I was a ghost, I'd blackmail people. Like, fam, imagine being a ghost and being like, seeing like, if I saw like the homie, like, if you a ghost and you're like, yo, what if I told your wife you were texting that girl? Like, that's how a ghost should use powers. Like, I'd be a blackmail ghost.
Yes, you would sneak in and watch stuff.
I would sneak in and be like, yo, you shouldn't be doing that. If I tell your girlfriend, you got to move out this house. Ghost was literally there to scare people to move out of the house. Like, for what?
I mean, I'm thinking like Casper the Ghost, not like you thinking like actual like ghouls and
haunted houses.
Spirits.
Like they were trying to get you to move out of the haunted house, like scare them. It's trash. Didn't hurt nobody. Flew through the walls. Anyways, my pickups, like I said, I got the Born and Raised. I got the Born and Raised blue. I got the Kill the Hype Dodgers shirt. Had an OU Money for championship Dodgers hat. I will be copping another one. I bought the tie dye 47 brand shirt. Wool gray. Man, fam, I bought wool gray Ultra Boost this year, olive, 2 ASU, 3 ASU, 1 for Rocio, burgundies. I think that's it. Oh, and Miamis. Well, about 7 pairs.
Another college, yeah.
7 pairs of Ultra Boost this year. Ultra Boost might be the sneaker of the year. Might be.
That 1.0 with the original knit that I took the pictures of and sent you.
Oh, that's kind of crazy.
It's better. The second one.
I haven't compared mine yet because I have the Adidas box in my car, but I haven't compared.
I hope you open the box and look.
No, I gotta compare that one to that one because that picture you sent was crazy.
And they're not even close.
They're not even close to the same sneaker. Now, I'm not trying to say that store sells fakes or nothing.
Oh no, it's Adidas. I looked online. That's not fake.
Well, what is it?
That was the actual retro knit. I guess the one that I got was left over or something. Because if you go on Adidas's website and look at the pictures of promoing that shoe, it's that one.
Oh, okay.
Which is weird because the Adidas one that I got was the better knit.
I don't think the other one looked bad. I like that. I like that contrast. Like when you could dramatically see it.
Look whack, no. It would be fine if the cage and everything wasn't like dull olive, and then that's like if the cage matched it would be fire. But the cage and laces and whatever else is that, and the mesh on the back is like the dull olive, and then you put that bright green on there. It makes no sense.
That was it. What come out this week?
Let's see here.
What comes out this week? I don't think it's much.
Yeah, there's not a sneakers release until like the 9th. I looked on there just to see. This is saying that Strawberry Lemonade Air Max 1 comes out tomorrow. I don't remember seeing that on sneakers. Maybe other places. I mean, I kind of want to buy it just to see how it looks in person.
For yourself?
Yeah.
I hate that shoe. I hate the green one. It looks like...
of course. The lemonade one sucks. And so, or the lime or whatever.
The strawberry one sucks. So
no, it's not as bad. It's better. I just want to get... Because... I don't know. I just want to get it and see what it looks like in hand.
Yeah, it's on sneakers. It says notify me.
What does it say for tomorrow?
It says...
I didn't think there was a release until the 9th. Yeah, see? So something's wrong with that. Yeah, none of this stuff
I think that's it.
even matters.
I think there's a few things that I had put on
There's
the
a Jaden Smith new colorway coming out for his shoe. LeBron 18 Los Angeles by the day. I guess that's a colorway some people want. It's like the off-white color and the blue back or whatever. I don't know. I
want to talk about like a person whose sneakers drop and they just fly under the radar. Like it's a new model 18 from the world champion LeBron James, and it's just like they're out there. They dropping. They coming out. You don't see sneakers that ask you questions. Are you gonna keep your LeBrons pristine, or are you gonna beat?
Only asking you stuff about like that with fire colorways.
Asking nonsense.
This says a Sakai Vapor Waffle Tour Yellow comes out on the 6th, but I'm assuming that's wrong too.
I don't know.
Unless this is Europe dates
I can't
or something.
tell. It might be Europe. I can't tell the Sakai drops because sites are all different. Like N has all the raffles up.
Fam, you want to
only
talk
two
about
colors, black and the white.
The price they have for those. Oh my! I think it was like $239. Plus now N charges tax to the U.S. No, I didn't put in for the raffle on those. I don't care.
I did because I got to have them. And I said I wouldn't do any raffles, but
refuse.
I want those, so I did that raffle. I might end up canceling it if I panic.
Okay, so the 9th is Monday, so we'll go through the 9th because that'll happen before our next show. So the yellow human race Pharrell comes out on the 7th, apparently. It's nice. It's too expensive. I'm not paying $220 for that shoe. If it resold and like I could get it and think about it, and then like if I didn't want to resell it, I probably would buy it. But
yellow, pink, and light blue.
Yeah, 3 different shoes, but on here this says only yellow comes out on the 7th, but I could be wrong. I know they released somewhere where Essence they released, and I sent you the thing, or $315, and I thought that was Canadian. I was gonna cop. Fam, that's US $315. Are you smoking Sherm?
I would only buy the yellow, and that would be just like me mentally thinking I'm replacing the OG model. This you got the one too, right? The teal one.
I took the one back to Adidas already.
So like, I'm keeping it because I think it's fire. It doesn't suck. The boost not being white is a little bit weird. The silver of the language, whatever, Korean, whatever it is on top of it, Taiwanese, I don't know what it is. On top, that kind of makes the shoe, that silver contrast and the white laces, it kind of makes it. But let me tell you something, like, we talk about it on the show all the time. Like, there are certain things we have stories with. It doesn't provide nothing about the shoe. This is a Pharrell thing. Like, what does the shoe say? Like, does anybody know?
I mean, but in the original,
I'm sure I can look it up. The originals had English, so like, you know what? If you're gonna give me a shoe that's written in Cantonese or whatever, a little card that says, "Yo, this means peace, love," 22, something. You gotta give me more than just human race box paper shoes. That's it. You gotta get. They don't even come with, dude. Some Ultra Boosts, like you said, some Ultra Boosts come with paper in it now. Some don't. All my Ultra Boosts, nothing.
Yeah, I told you.
The boxes, Adidas have
not
the
paper
worst sneaker boxes in the history of sneakers.
The cardboard
period.
insert. Yeah, the new box with the like open split on the top is dumb. I like the yellow boxes better.
I like the open thing, but the box is too weak. Like it collapses.
Yeah, the whole thing sucks. That doesn't make any sense. I was gonna say something, but I forgot. I was related to something we had just talked about. But anyways, this says Yeezy 700 Safflower is coming out. I don't know if that's right. This says November 7th. Maybe that's Europe too. V3 700. I'm gonna try for it if it comes out. That's the one with no boost that you like.
Did you put in for those what the fives on the end or anything?
What the 5? Oh, the one that's 2 different color shoes? Nah.
No. Think so?
Garbaggio to me.
They're not bad. It's just the
each shoe individually is nice, but I don't. Why is it 2 different shoes? I don't get it.
So what the?
But the whole shoe is one color though. Like if they're gonna do like patches or like splotches like you always do with what the I don't know.
The 4s were kind of like meh. They weren't.
Like, but both shoes were white. I mean, I look back and found out where I bought those from and what I paid for those, and then.
You still have them?
No, I sold both of them.
You still they go for now?
I was like, what am I? Yeah, the 13 that I looked at was $280, and the size 12 was like $315. And I know, I made money on them, but I know I didn't sell them for that. But I got them. They sat on a site in Canada. That's where I got them from. I got a 12 and a 13 shipped together. And the conversion rate today, I know there was a little bit less then, but the conversion rate today told me it was like $160 a pair. I was like, Fam, what did I do with that money?
2019 might have been the year of so many things that we just was like, slept on. Like Jordan 1s that we was like, could have got a lot of them. Like some of them.
Fam, I remember going
ones,
to
the 4, like stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember going to I don't even remember why I was there. Maybe I was there to pick up a Yeezy or something, but I remember going to Foot Locker in 2019 at some point, and there was OG 1 high sitting. Yeah. Now, I looked the prices on StockX even now today. They're still not all that high, but still like $250 or whatever for a size 12.
Well, it's like, they're not like, some of them aren't ridiculous high, but it's still like, bro, I could have got that.
Fam, the leather, that's the one I told you about. It's like the black toe with the red swoosh.
Yeah, Bloodlines.
No, not Bloodlines. Before that, Bloodlines suck. I had those.
Huh?
The leather is okay, but the shoe sucks. Everyone has taken the Bloodline and did a custom on it. Like that's how bad it is that they just turned it into something else. Fam, I had a 9.5, and I said, "Do you want this?" And you were like, "No."
Oh no, I said they aight. I didn't say let me get a pair, but they aight.
I think I got it under retail or whatever.
Yeah, we weren't wearing shorts in. Huh?
All right. The other shoe coming out on the 9th is Infrared 90s. I am absolutely copping Infrared 90s. I'll probably buy from Nike and hold it, and then try to buy it somewhere else and
Stop
less. And
Infrared
then
90s, dude. We don't know what those are. First of all, they're called.
It says Radiance, but
fam, they're called Radiant Red Air Max 3s. All right. You want to talk about
they're Infrared 90s? The shoe is color blocked, except for maybe calling it not infrared like an Infrared 90.
It's not infrared then. It's radiant red.
If the color is the same exact thing and you just call it a different name, I mean,
I don't think it's the exact same thing. That's why they gave it a different name.
Oh, okay.
Fam,
if it's
either way,
nano% off on the color scale, I don't care.
Doesn't matter. Either way, this is a clear representation of a replica.
You can call it a replica. It's not going to stop me from copping. I'm copping.
Hey, man, free will.
Yes, free will.
But they're replicas.
Free punches to the face.
Somebody was hitting me up about some joint. I was like, fam, yes, I'm sorry. I feel that way. Nike are not on the back. Not like the OG. It's a replica. Period. Fam, you know what one of the prime examples is? I went to Nike and I go in there and I say, oh yeah, let me go ahead and get this Mookie Betts replica jersey.
Replica.
That's what it says on the Nike site. Replica jersey, because the on-field authentic is different. Doesn't mean the jersey's fake. The word replica doesn't mean fake, everybody listening. Replica means it's just not this one, but it's close enough. The Mookie Betts jersey that I have is close to the one they wore on the field, but the one on the field, certain length, certain weight, certain stitching, certain stuff. The one I got, not. It says Nike replica jersey. So don't come to me with this replica. Yo, you smoking. Somebody said I had mental problems. Fam, I don't have mental problems.
People have said worse.
You're right.
People have said way worse.
I think that's pretty much it for releases. It ain't much. All right, so yo, Sting This Podcast. We got the homies of the Fitted Gallery. We got the homie P on the line and his brother. What's your brother's name? Sorry, I didn't even get that. Cav. So we got the homies from the Fitted Gallery. They super big on IG. Definitely hats are back. If you want to say back or hats are in, New York definitely has its own style. I definitely want to start the show off by saying we appreciate the hats, We're Dodgers fans, so I know, y'all specialize in Yankees and Mets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But our Dodgers just won the World Series, so we definitely can't. We can't get on TV. We can't get on camera or nothing without no Dodgers hats. So we definitely appreciate it. So real quick, if you want to go ahead and talk to us about how the Fitted Gallery got started. We know New York has always been one of those places who just been on their own, wave, their own slang, own fashion. And the Fitted Gallery is one of those spots. You see a lot of people tagging you guys on social media, stuff they cop, stuff they bought. So how did that go ahead and get started?
Yes, sir. Well, the Fitted Gallery we opened up in 2009 is when we opened the doors. It's something my brother and I wanted to do a long time. As a youngin', in high school, dressing and getting fresh and going shopping, we would actually have to leave the town to get fresh. And where we located at, basically you have Fordham, you have Harlem, you got Brooklyn. Those are all the spots where you would go and get fresh.
Definitely.
And while we out there, we actually seen, people from our hometown doing the same thing. So, once we got the opportunity to stack our bread up, we said, you know what, the best thing to do was to actually, open something in a hometown where everybody else is trying to do the same thing as far as getting fresh, but they got to leave the hometown in order to do that. So we started in 2009, and that's where it started at.
Yep.
You know, how difficult is it? You know, we have a lot of people who listen to the show, and like a lot of them have online stuff, and they have aspirations to like get a building, have a door to unlock, and like, at the end of the day, how difficult is that, to do that, just to actually start the process to get that going?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. The process is not difficult, in my opinion. We actually opened, like I said, in 2009, which was like a little small recession going on at that time. So the banks wasn't giving any money out, no loans or nothing like that. Thank God my brother and I had, money saved up. So we did it on our own. The difficult part is actually keeping it going. Anyone could open a store, but there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that people don't really realize that's going to happen once you get involved with a brick and mortar spot, like taxes, you got financing, you got all these little different small bills that you have to pay where you don't really realize it going into it, where versus online, you got the internet and you open up shop, So I would say to anyone, if they're going to open a brick and mortar spot, is actually get your clientele up online first or through social media, get your money up. And then after that, why not open a flagship spot,
So, you talked about how difficult, it is to keep it open. And, obviously this year has been the craziest year, I think, of most of our lives. Yeah. How difficult what'd you guys do to make sure you guys were good during, the pandemic and everything, this year?
Just staying on top of our designs, man, like just cooking up every night, we would be up to 3-4 o'clock in the morning just trying to cook up new ideas and ways that we could be more creative with the designs that we've been doing in the past, and just basically doing that.
I will tell you this, and I want to, be honest with you guys, like, the hats that you guys do, seen them all over social media plenty of times. And typically, like, this is like a bit much, that we would typically wear, like a lot on the hat. But like the idea and the concept of it is dope. What made you guys decide to go? So was Psycho the first one with New York, or?
Yeah, that was in 2018. That was the first time we dropped it. Me and him was just sitting in the store, and, we come up with ideas, and, we wanted to be creative, and we sat there and we was like, yo, a Yankee is like a uniform, like it goes with everything. What could we do to put a little twist on it, for the fitted gallery? And we came up with ideas, bounced them back and forth.
I'm gonna be honest, not to cut my brother off. I wasn't seeing the vision, bro. Like he's like, yo, Psycho. Like I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like he was like, yo, we should spell out the word Psycho. Think about it. Like we crazy with the hat game. You get the concept, Psycho on the headpiece and all that. And I'm like, bro, I don't see it. So I'm actually the person that does all the graphics, just to let you guys know that.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. So he was like, yo, mock it up on the computer and let me see. And I mocked it up, and I'm like, bro, this is not it, man. Like I'm not feeling this. And sure enough, he was right, man. We did Psycho. I mocked it up. We dropped it was a light clip, like a 50 clip we dropped. And no louch, like within one day, we were sold out of all 50 pieces,
Dang.
It was just crazy.
So, like, once you guys did that one, like, you guys just ran with it and kept going?
Yeah, we once it came out, once we did the embroidery on the hat, and I seen that the reaction of what it was on IG, that's when I started doing my marketing strategy. Like, yo, I got to get celebrities in the hat or whatever. That's when I reached out to Fabulous, Offset, Victor Cruz, all of these guys or whatever. And when I showed them the hat, they actually liked it. So, I got it to them, and from there it blew up. But before that, we did a dad hat in my bag, and
right.
James Harden wore it to a game, and that's what really put the light on us. And then after that, it was a wrap.
Well, you know what? Let me go ahead and read this real quick. I'm gonna read this to you because I'm gonna be honest with you. This is a crazy list of names of people who like support your brand and stuff. Let me go ahead. So Fabulous, Offset, Rick Ross, Dave East, Lil Baby, Smoke DZA, Victor Cruz, Clark Kent, Rich the Kid, Fatboy SSE, Gunplay, and there's plenty more. And like, I think we have like definitely seen like in this era of like creating your own brand or even selling any products, it just takes that one celebrity or that one person to like, show up on camera when and people ask questions. And I would imagine when the Psycho had first hit the scene, I would imagine people went nuts.
Yeah, we wasn't even in our hometown when that went crazy. Like we was out of the country, and we was coming back. We was in the airport. When you're in the plane, your phones is off. So we landed in JFK.
Walked through customs.
we turned on our phones, and both of our phones was going crazy. Ping, 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 like all these different messages. I'm like, yo, what's going on? And, congratulations, you guys made it. You made it. So we didn't know what was going on at the time. Come to find out, Offset actually wore it to Coachella. Yeah. And that's when it went crazy.
That's dope. I seen the pictures of him wearing it, and I was like, man, I know people lost their minds for it. Yeah. So, like, how do y'all maintain those relationships? Like, I think a lot of people, like you said, reached out. I don't know what reached out means from you guys. Like, do you guys know them? Because everybody I know who has something and tries to sell something, they love to try to reach out to people and try to make that connection. How were you guys able to do that?
Well, a lot of it was people that we knew, and then some of them was like, off of Instagram. Instagram is a huge platform for a lot of things nowadays, and, DM back and forth and, show the items or whatever, and they'll be like, yo, it's dope. Like, I definitely need that. I need to rock that or whatever. And they actually rock it and post it on Instagram, and then on top of that, actually tagged us. So that really brought a lot of followings to us.
So, like, how many hats do you guys drop on a regular basis?
There's so much that we did, man.
Our catalog is crazy, to be honest with you. Like, I have a hard drive, like, stacked with designs. Like, we could, if we wanted, we could drop a hat, like, every single day, like, back to back to back. But, you don't want to overshadow each piece. So we try to space it out, just so each hat could get an individual shine and get out there before we do another release.
You said that you do all the designs and stuff like that. Like, are you self-taught or like, you just...
So
that's the IT man right there.
So I've been doing IT stuff for 23 years, and I just picked it up. I didn't go to school for graphics or nothing like that. Just, messing around with computers, I pretty much figured out everything on my own. And once I started doing that, as the more you do it, the better you get at it. So I realized, why pay someone to do graphics when I could actually do it myself? So once my brother and I sit down together and we chop it up and throw ideas off each other, I'm able to bring it to life, and that's where it goes.
Yeah. I like to hear that because, like, sort of like the same thing with our podcast. Once we decided to do video, a lot of people are like, yo, I could do graphics and yada, yada, yada. But, man, a lot of people don't realize, man, if you just actually get up and do it instead of thinking about it all the time, you can learn a lot.
Right, right, exactly.
It's a lot, though, because I be watching them at the computer, and I be like, woof, thank God you're my brother.
That's what's up. So, like, do you guys do the embroidery and stuff for you guys yourselves?
I have OCD, man. I think, like, I got to sit there for hours and make it perfect, So that's just me right there. I'm real tedious and anal with that, man.
Oh, no, I definitely understand that. So, like, do you guys have, like, the machines and the embroidery and stuff to do it yourselves, or do you guys, like, send it off?
We have both. It's a combination. When we first started, we had our own machine and we was doing that, but the volume has grown so much where it's like it's too much for us to do now. So, for me to meet deadlines and stuff like that, it's better for me to just outsource it and have the embroidery done. But like I said, I do all the graphics, so I just send them the graphics and then they basically do the production for us.
Okay. So, like, out there, like, have you guys, when we talked to Justin, who works for Hat Club, and he was talking about the hat craze and stuff like that, and how you can clearly see at some point in 2020 it just like kind of picked up like rampant wild. And I'll tell you, like, and I'm not sure if this is all West Coast, but like, we had like really got super high on the snapback wave type thing. We had left the fitteds for a while. Yeah, and we were told that like New York never left the fitted, So like,
man, listen, let me tell you something. I'm gonna toot our own horn. We started a wave with that. I don't care what nobody say. You could go back and look on our Instagram. We started a wave on the East Coast. We started it. You understand?
Right.
We went crazy with it.
No, that's and so like, have y'all noticed? Like, y'all really noticed like how much is picked up? Like, has that made you guys? One thing when it comes to with us, we're a sneaker podcast, but we wear hats every single episode. But we were like casual hat buyers. Now we like looking for them all the time. So like, I know you talked about y'all first dropped that 50 piece, and one thing that like when you're in this lifestyle, this culture of like sneakers and fashion and hats and stuff. We're the biggest complainers of all time. You can't, it always sells out. You can't cop. Websites are weird, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Like, so did that make you guys ramp up more hats? Or like, how do you guys go about like trying to appease the public?
Well, it's like, I'm glad you said it. Like, so right now it's to the point where like everybody's designing hats and everybody's doing stuff with hats. So we try not to go too crazy with it, where it's like, all right, they're doing too much now. Like they dropped a hat last week and now they're doing another hat with the same style. So we try to do stuff that's creative, that's, if you want to say clean in a sense, and not too much going on. It's kind of our remedy, if you want to say, to not looking crazy out there with the hat game. Because it is, in my opinion, it is getting like everybody's doing it right now.
Well, as far as like the embroidery type of thing on the hat, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I heard you mention like Hat Club, like they started that pink bottom thing, which it's big in New York right now. Like New York, like every drop, cats want pink bottoms. They want color underbrims now. You understand what I'm saying? But as far as the embroidery wise goes, like, everybody, a lot of people is doing it. Like even people that wasn't even in that game now is trying to jump in that lane.
So let me kind of jump on that real quick, because I'll tell you this, like when we first like got back in the hats, like really got back in the hats, you know what I mean? And like, a lot of Hat Club is, they send us hats, quite often, and we have a good relationship with them, and it's an Arizona-based spot, so when it comes to that, like, I will tell you this, like, I was not, and it's because we're not from that culture, that hat culture. Like, we wear hats, we buy hats, but I did not like seeing how many people were doing the embroidery thing, and I hated on it for a while. Like I thought, like, no, man, come on, man, like, because it was
stupid stuff like putting a PlayStation controller on the front of a hat. Like,
you know what? That's what it was. It was a lot of stuff like that, and I felt like once people had started to use like pretty much all the New York staples, you got the Apple, you got the Twin Towers, you got the Statue of Liberty, you got all those iconic, Empire State Building, you got those iconic New York places, and then it went to like pizza and so forth. Then I started,
hot dogs, all types of
right.
things.
Then I felt like it started like people were like super reaching for like New York stuff, and I started seeing like an entire subway driving on it, which I actually thought was kind of dope.
You have to remember, money changes everything, bro. So once somebody realized that they could capitalize off of something, and they look at the next man doing it, they was like, all right, what's so special about these guys? Exactly. I can do the same thing too.
And they charge $100 for it. I'm gonna charge $200.
Right, so it's like, all right, I'm gonna put some quote unquote cool stuff on a hat, raise the price, and then now I'm the hat king.
Now I went back on it because I like I said, I was kind of hating on it for a while, and then I hated on it because it's not our culture. Like hats isn't our thing. So like I equated it back to sneakers, because we have tons of customizers and friends who are customizers, and they go ahead and buy a pair of $50 Vans, go ahead and put a bunch of stuff on it, and they go and sell it for $150. So it was kind of like the same thing. I think it was just that it just shocked me. Like, and I think, like I said, like you said, the PlayStation controller, stuff like that, God bless anybody who wants to do what they want to do, like, and make some money.
Right, there's money out there for everybody to make.
There seems to be money out there for everybody. Now, we don't know how to make it on this podcast yet, but
y'all getting there.
Nah, you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I feel like we getting there, we getting close, but like, I will tell you, like, seeing like what you guys do with the stuff like that, I kind of have questions about that. So like, I see some of the stuff you guys come up with and designs you guys create. Have you guys ever like been worried about being in trouble with that or anything of the sort?
You know what I realized? You can't make everyone happy. So it's like, you're going to have customers that rock with you for what you're doing, and then you're going to have people that's going to hate on you for what you're doing. So it's like, if you stay true to yourself and true to what you love, and you stay in that lane and continue to tunnel vision all the negativity and continue creating, then I think you'll be good. I try not to let the social media stuff take over my life or get in my head or nothing like that. I block all of that stuff out.
You know, that's funny because, like, that's when we first started this podcast. That was one of the main issues with, like, you know, me personally on the podcast was, like, social media was, like, draining me with, like, responding to everybody who had something bad to say or disagree.
Right. I'll be on that type of time, but
I be telling my brother, I'm like, yo, let that rock, man. Like, you know, no disrespect to no one. Half of the people that's, you know, giving you negative energy or saying something crazy, they don't really have nothing much going on with their lives, man.
Well, see, you know what was funny was, like, even like when it came, like when we started doing video on YouTube and we started getting a lot of comments and stuff, and I would notice like some of the negative stuff, and it'd be like an hour into the show, and I'm like, oh, you done watched an hour already. You like the show, you know? You talking junk. You like the show, so it's all good.
Word up. Exactly.
But like, but it was crazy because I was telling George, you know, co-host right here on my show, and like I was telling him, I was saying, like, I was getting into so many beefs with people on social media. Like, they were in different time zones. So, like, I was arguing with people in New York, and they'd be asleep. And I'm still I'm in Arizona woke.
Crazy,
and I'm responding to them thinking, like, oh, when they wake up and see this. And I'm like, you know what? This is ridiculous. They're not even woke. Like, I have to wait till the morning for them to respond back to me. But I'll tell you, like, on the picture where you guys, and I don't know if you guys seen or whatever, but like, you know, we were talking about Kai, you know, I don't know if you guys are familiar, you know, I'm sure you guys know who Kai is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And, you know, I see like on you guys' page where you guys are making your own version of a Jordan 1 or whatever for your store. And I saw the comments and I you know what I said? And I said, man, I like these guys, how they reacted to some of the people, what they're saying, because it's not for everybody, you know. It's definitely it's not for me, but the comment.
The thing that gets me with that is like, a lot of people, if you don't know the culture and don't know fashion like that, this stuff been going on for a while with these custom ones. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, even on the West Coast, it's big on the West Coast with, you know, what's the Fugazi? The one with the gun on the Fugazi. Lotas. There's a lot of people that have been doing it. It's just now it's touching the East Coast, so they feel like, you know, he was the first one to do it. You understand what I'm saying? But a lot of people have been making those custom ones.
Yeah, you know what was funny is that, like we talked about with social media, like it's all it takes is social media to run with it, and like, you know, a publication or somebody to make comment about it. And, you know, I will say, like, it seems to be, like, really rampant. You know what's going on. You know, everybody's trying to create something. And, you know, after we did a show talking about Kai and Lotas and everybody else, you know, a lot of people hit me up like, yo, do you have... Because I told him, I said, I got the information. Like, if you want to make your own. And I told him, and I gave it to him, like, hey, man, knock yourselves out. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And, you know, and it's... I think it's with us, it's like... With sneakers, it's so personal to us. Like, we've been when I talk about like being OGs, I'm talking about me and George. We have been through it. Like, I'm talking like for kids, you know what I mean? And like you said, growing up, you guys had to leave the city to go get clothes. So that's part of your culture. That's part of like hits the home for you. So when you started the fitted gallery, you wanted to be fire.
Yeah, we love what we do. You know, like obviously everybody opens a business to make money, but for us, it may sound crazy what I'm about to say, but the passion and love is first, and then the money's second for us, you know?
Right.
But for some people, like I said, they see somebody else doing something, so it's like, all right, they doing it, I could do it too. And they get in the game just for money, and they don't even realize what they dropping, you know, most of the time is trash.
Right. Mm-hmm. And see, like, we're in Arizona. So Arizona, I can pretty say confidently we have zero culture. Like, when it comes, like, our culture is desert, hot. You know, it's not. There's nothing. It's not like New York. It's not like California. It's extremely different. And you know, so like a lot of stores have started out here and they've shut down. But like you said, you know, a lot of people have that goal to start a shop and do something, and they don't know, like you said, taxes and go like that. And sometimes the money comes in so fast, they don't know how to be responsible with it.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
And we're from a small town too, from New Rochelle, New York, Westchester, 914. So there was nothing out here for them, you know what I mean? So I feel good to see guys coming in, going out on dates or going to a party, and they could get fresh, and you know what I mean? And they come back to you and tell you like, yo, the reaction was crazy. Like, you understand? I love that feeling. Like, you feel me?
Oh yeah, I know. And you know, I mean, that's how it should be. You know, when, like you said, and you said it might sound crazy, but it doesn't sound crazy to say, you know, it's the passion before the money, because This is episode 222 of this podcast, and like I said, we've gotten a little something here and there a few times. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, but coming to this studio for 4+ years, you know, staring at each other, talking about sneakers that we can't even get. Like we constantly take losses. Now, right? We constantly take losses on. That shows the passion that we have, you know, for our show.
I'm ready to delete that sneaker app.
I know, man. So like I seen you guys have done like actual vendors at like SneakerCon and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. We was the first hat store / spot to be in SneakerCon. Well, at the time, Alan was like the main dude that was running that, and
he don't like me. You guys sell sneakers at the shop too, right?
Every now and then, if we get our hands on some good pairs, we'll let them go. Yeah.
So what y'all been copping recently? What y'all been wearing recently?
Last joint I got was the what's that?
I picked up the mochas.
The mochas you got? It was the Jordan 5s, the off-white.
Oh, okay. You like them joints? You like them in hand?
Yeah, definitely good money. I like those.
So you guys are you guys having plans to open up another store, or is it just focus on the one?
That's a good question. We thought about it a couple of times.
New York is so big.
It's kind of hard to, like, we're so hands-on. It's hard to open another spot, especially if it's not a location that's close to us.
Right.
To be hands-on with it and run it the way we would want to run it. But we're not shying away from that. It was just for, I guess, the right timing and the right opportunity will definitely location. We'll definitely do that. But that's something that we aspire to do.
Well, I was gonna say because we talked about it many times on this podcast, like when sneakers release or any type of clothing or whatever, New York wise, social media, you'll always see like people in New York, sometimes it gets a little crazy out there, fighting and what forth. And with you guys dropping like really popular hats, I would imagine, people line up, people try to by any means necessary, get their hands on your guys' product. And one thing I've always said about New York is that, like, I can understand why people fight and get upset in New York because it's so much work to get from A to B. Like, if I had to take the train, a bus, and it's cold and it's raining to go buy a hat, I'm ready to fight anybody.
You know what it is though, New York? We got a lot of resellers out here. A lot of guys that's like on their game. So it's like they at every release, like front door. You know how they are like,
right.
I gotta get my pair, I gotta touch it. Like, you understand? So that's why it gets crazy a lot of times out here.
Do y'all like seeing y'all hats go for resale? Because I seen a few of y'all hats on Grail.
It trips me every time when I hear that. Like, we've actually had customers come back to the spot like, yo, man, you guys are sold out. We ran into a reseller and he crapped me for like $300. And I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
There's a reseller that comes to our store now and he buys like every single size and resells them. And like, people is really out there in Soho buying them for like $250.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Only if they knew where it was coming from.
I was going to ask you guys that. Is that what take place out there? Because I'll see some people that do the embroidery thing and they be having like tons of hats. Like, do they, just go to the stores and buy up every single one and then do their own embroidery thing?
I'm thinking now that's what some guys are doing. I think so. I think so. Some guys are doing that now.
So how did you guys, I see you guys do a few collaborations. I think you guys had a hat club collaboration as well, right?
Yeah.
So how do those kind of get about?
It went left though. I let my brother talk on that.
Yeah. Without going too deep into it, corporate stepped in and those are the giants. And if you don't play by their rules, then there's basically no playing at all. So that's how that turned out.
Oh, really?
It was going to be a crazy thing for both parties. But like I said, corporate stepped in, and that just went in another direction. Yeah.
Oh, well, things like that happen. You guys have another one coming out soon, though, right? I think I saw it on the stories.
Yeah. We got a collab that we're about to do with this guy named Joker out here.
Yeah, he's a real trendy, fashion forward dude. That's he's into the sneaker thing also. He may not be as big as a lot of the other sneaker guys, but he holds weight when it comes to fashion. And we like doing stuff like that. We like doing fashion forward pieces that everybody else is not doing. That kind of separates us from everybody else.
Exactly.
So like, one thing I always tell people, like, to like follow a lot of pages, of businesses. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, being open since 2009, doing clothes, hats, sneakers every once in a while is kind of an amazing thing.
Yeah, man. Without getting mushy, I'm proud of ourselves. Being African American, young guys. We didn't get, like I said, we didn't get a penny from the bank. This is all our blood, sweat, and tears. We did it from the mud. All that good stuff.
Right.
And to still be here 11 years later, it was a fun, or it is, I should say, rather fun roller coaster ride. You have bad months, bad days. You got great days and great things, so
ups and downs,
right. So to still be here and still making noise and still having that respect, in what we do, it's a beautiful thing.
What?
You guys sell other stuff in the store too, or is it only your own products?
So we sell other brands too, but what we are slowly doing is focusing on our brand more, because we realize, no disrespect to the other brands, my brother and I will create something and drop it in the store, and it actually sells out faster than a brand that's been existing longer than we've been.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha,
that's our goal for like 2021, to turn the store entirely over to the Fitted Gallery brand only.
Okay, so the goal at no point was ever to be like a hat club or like a retailer where you selling like teams and all that kind of stuff. It's always been to have your own brand.
Yeah, that was the goal. Yeah, ultimately. Initially, when like I said, we opened in 2009. Back then, you had like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Hundreds and Mishka and all these other brands.
Yeah.
So like you had to have those brands if you wanted to even make it in the game.
Yeah.
So we ran through all of those brands that you could think about that's popular. And as the time went along, like I said, we realized that stuff that we were doing were holding the same kind of weight these big guys were holding, if not better. So that's why we decided to, let's start focusing on our brand more.
And one of the things you want to do going forward, you want to get your brand in other bigger retailers, or you just want to stick to your own square footage, or what?
I don't think it would be a bad idea to get into bigger retailers than us. At some point, though, I still would want to be selective. Like I wouldn't want it to be right. I wouldn't want it to be in every department store, because I think it kind of takes away from the exclusivity of being a boutique.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the brands having like that niche reputation helps, in the culture and streetwear, that kind of thing. I noticed. I had never heard of the store that Kith put a store in like a small boutique that's like kind of upstate, or maybe on Long Island or something like that.
Back in the days, he's talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
And so when I went and researched that store that they put that, I think the store is like 100 years old and has always had luxury brands, but maybe kind of like not your typical luxury brands, like maybe slightly off the beaten path, but still things from Italy and France that people want. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about, like, putting your stuff in, it's a boutique, but it's a bigger retailer, like someone has been around 100 years.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Yep.
So how difficult it is, I always wanted to ask like people this, like how difficult it is, like to like, I don't want to say stay up with the fashions or whatnot, because I feel like, I don't know, I'll probably say like around 2017 to like now 16, the clothes and stuff changed dramatically, and like even with New York, like New York has always been, ever since we was kids, New York was always looked at from our side of the country as like, man, New York is the capital of everything, and even out here when we had something that no one else had, we would lie. We would say, "Oh, I got it in New York." We would lie about it just just so we didn't have to tell nobody where we got it from. And I feel like New York is one of those places where I feel like New Yorkers give a lot of stuff a shot. Like they say,
they're more risky when it comes. I noticed you mentioned like fashion changed.
Right.
It changed, but if you realize also it does a 360. So, at one point, everything was skinny jeans, skinny this, everything was slim fit. And now it's starting to touch back to the era where stuff is oversized. So, back in the days, if you were a medium, you were wearing like a 3X shirt,
Right.
So,
oh yeah, we all have those pictures. I don't know how long y'all been listening, and Greg's a couple years younger than me, but I'm 41, so the era for me was I was 10 in '89, but we'll just say like the early '90s was teenage years. You know what I mean? So you're influenced by Fresh Prince and Martin and all that kind of stuff. So everything you're wearing is like and that's not even really the era that you guys are talking about. You guys are talking about maybe the era in the early 2000s where the hip hop stars were wearing, like, there's pictures of
Nelly.
Like Nelly is one.
Big jerseys.
Soldier Boy. That's the one I always think of. Soldier Boy, because he's super skinny, like wearing stuff like, fam, that would fit me.
Yeah,
exactly.
It was crazy because I remember I used to wear
5 fingers in your hat,
Yeah. Well, I think people still do that.
Yeah, well,
I don't. Well, I got a big head, but
man, I remember I was telling, like, I always talk about this when the first time I met my wife's dad. And I'm sitting, and they're Mexican. They're from Mexico, So I'm black, That definitely was, kind of a thing. And I had this gigantic Ron Harper, Mitchell and Ness Cavs jersey on, and I had this crazy big Mets hat on, like, and I had the white do-rag, had my strings hanging down, and I'm meeting my girlfriend's dad for the first time. But like, that's the era back then. But I will say,
that was a style though. That was trendy,
right? And I like I said, like, typically, like, the hats that you guys sent us, these joints are incredible quality, you know what I mean? But like, it screams New York. Like, it screams like, we're gonna give this a shot and we're gonna make this fly, and everybody else is gonna see it and they're gonna want one.
Right, exactly. With an item like that has a lot going on, once you start throwing it on with a fit, everything else shouldn't be as loud as the hat. You know what I'm saying? You gotta tone it down, make it look clean, make it look like something,
Oh yeah, I completely understand that. I had one more question real quick for you guys. So like, I don't know if you guys, are like, social media wise, like, a lot of people are always asking, like, who has, brands and clothing and stuff like that. Like, and I don't know if you guys are on social media since 2009, or did like that come later with Instagram, or?
Yeah, later on, we what would you say, like maybe 12?
Yeah, probably around that 12.
Yeah, maybe like 12 or 13. We jumped on it, so we wasn't always on social media, to be honest.
Yeah,
but you will say, like, that is the key to marketing your brand, your store.
I say that all day, man. Marketing. My brother is the businessman side of things for the store, but marketing, like, that's me. Like, I go out, I like to rub shoulders with certain people. Like, I'll talk. Like, you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm the face of the Fitted Gallery. You feel me? So
that's social media is very important for anyone that's trying to be an entrepreneur, because it's free, number one,
right,
and you're reaching out to the masses. As an individual, you just got to be prepared for positive and negative feedback. But it's definitely a good platform to start any kind of business or any kind of brand that you want to create.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny you say that, because like, when we started the podcast, I had reached out to somebody who had been podcasting forever, and he told me, he said the first thing, he said, you better have thick skin. He said, because, and he's a married man with kids and stuff like that. He said every single time he did a podcast episode, somebody called him gay. And he said he just got he got so sick and tired of that.
Wow.
And I said, and he said, what? People just say stuff to say stuff like that. He said, you better be prepared. He said, once you do video, they start seeing what you look like and stuff. They just gonna start talking crazy to you. And I said, oh yeah, I got it. You know what I mean? So,
You ever heard that saying? They say the internet is undefeated.
Oh yeah, of course. Like,
they gonna get you all the time, boy.
Yeah, I mean, there's we were, there's the homie from California. He does like upside down logo hats too. His name's from Kill the Hype. And there's some guy who always sends me these messages talking about how upside down logos is like Satan's way to get in your soul, some crazy stuff. Wow. And I just always say, oh man, you in my prayers. That's all I say. Honestly, because he kind of scares me. Like, I don't know who he is.
it's crazy, man. You have all types of people out there that like they take this stuff real personal, like real serious, and like
tunnel vision, man.
You would think that they're actually invested into your company the way how they go so hard, and I'm like, yo, bro, it's just a hat, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's money out there for everybody to make. Right. You know, everybody could be a creator, a designer, all that good stuff. It's like, do your thing and stay in your lane.
Exactly. I like that, man. Well, I don't have anything else to ask you guys, but man, I definitely appreciate you guys coming on the podcast, man. Like,
we appreciate y'all, man.
Yeah, man. I like being able to, you know, as big, small as we are, you know, whatever, we like to, you know, talk to other brands and stuff like that. I want people to listen to guys like you, and honestly, for just us personally, like I said, we're just starting out too, but you know, you guys could have easily said, you know what, this is too much work, this is hard, we folding up. And especially starting to shop in the recession, it motivates us, you know, it motivates our listeners. We like to hear it. We love hats, you know what I mean? So it's dope.
Well, so it's safe to say you guys like the hats that's a little more subtle. So when we drop the next package on y'all, we won't go so
well, you know what? Well, see, like when we talked about like
exclusive.
Well, you know what's crazy is like with us, like George, he said he's 41 now. I'm 38. So like, you know, out here, man, when I don't know if you guys ever been to Arizona. Let me tell you, Arizona, it looks way different when you land on an airplane to Arizona than it does when you land in New York. All right, it is flat. It is flat. It is brown. It is not green. It is building. The highest building doesn't even come close to New York building. So like it's really basic out here, and we love expensive basics and basics like that. And hats like us, like I said, we were casual hat.
Most buyers. People aren't from here though. They're from the Midwest, Chicago or California or the East Coast. So the influence is wherever people are from. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. And a pink bottom, pink underbrim, you know, that was kind of like, dang, that was
well, see, the craziest thing to us, we had Justin from Hat Club on a couple weeks ago, and the craziest thing, or at least to me, I don't know about Greg, but Hat Club is literally from here, from Phoenix, like Tempe, which is down the street from us.
Okay.
And so when Justin...
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so when Justin came on the show... Number one, you know, you could tell by his accent, but I thought for some reason he was from Philly, and I don't know, maybe I saw him wearing a Philly jersey or something. Yeah. But he started talking about the Soho store, and I was like, wait, you don't live here? And you know what I mean? Like, I was totally confused by the whole thing. I was like, fam, I assumed you were...
Correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm not mistaken, they actually, Soho store started the pink bottom thing. So
yeah, I think that's what he said, yeah.
You thinking he was out there.
But yeah, it was so weird. It was like, I assumed he lived here because their corporate headquarters and everything is here. And he's like, no.
Yep.
It was crazy.
So you know, just real quick, so what's the next drop? I know you talked about the collab with Joker or whatever, but like, what's the next big drop people could expect?
Oh, this Carhartt.
Yeah, Carhartt. Yeah, we going. You know, now it's winter, so here in New York, you know, a Carhartt with a hoodie with some Timbs, like that's the typical, you know, lineup right there. So right now we going real ham with the Carhartt pieces, and that's it.
You know what's funny? Like, you know what's funny is like Carhartt, like I said, it's brands like Carhartt and stuff like that New Yorkers look at and say, we could do something with this and give it a shot. Carhartt and stuff out here is like, now it's becoming more like, oh,
it's only for construction workers.
We always, out here,
it's not a fashion wear.
It's not a fashion wear thing out here. It's slowly like getting there. Like, you know, a few things here, and I got a few shirts here and there and stuff like that. But like, you could buy Carhartt here at our grocery store. Like, that's not even.
That's crazy. Yeah. See, but back in New York in the '90s, like Carhartt, Champion, Gore-Tex, Timbs, like Avrix, all those stuff was like, those are the staple pieces. Like,
yeah, that was your winter.
Right, exactly. If you getting fresh in the streets, if you didn't have one of those items, you wasn't saying anything.
Yeah.
And Gore-Tex, that's another company that's here from Arizona, up in northern Arizona. I don't know if that's where the headquarters is, but there's a big production facility in northern Arizona.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. We didn't know that.
Yeah.
Rocking all
really weird.
Gore-Tex for all these years, and we had
yeah, that's what's great. But see, like, that's the thing. Like, stuff starts out here because we have a lot of land and a lot of, you know, businesses, you know, space and stuff. Right. And then we look at it, like I said, Carhartt, we laugh about like Carhartt, like, you know, some of the jackets and stuff are so thick, you know, they're like bulletproof. Like, you know, that stuff is strictly.
But you know what it is too? And maybe because it's so close to you guys, it's like, I see this all the time, so it doesn't faze me.
Well,
for somebody on the outside, it's like, you know, what they can't really touch as often is like, wow, I need that, you know?
Well, like I had seen when you guys had did like a jacket, like a coat drop. And I'm gonna tell you, them coats are fire. Like with the fur, them joints are super fire. And I've always wanted to wear something like that. But like I said, we live in Arizona. Today it was almost 100. So like,
Wow, that's crazy.
right. So like we don't get to wear hoodies. Like I'm wearing a hoodie right now and it was 95 today. And it's like, well, I think it's a little cool. I could wear a hoodie today. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like New York, right? So like New Yorkers always had those elements of like, you guys could wear a hat. You know, in the wintertime, we wear a hat out here. Like, if the inside of the hat is white, I won't even wear it out here.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Right. And the sweat will ride up the hat, and then it gets white and turns salty.
Yeah,
so New York has always had that edge on that because New York has actual seasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So, but I know, like I said, man, I appreciate you guys coming on, you know, P and Cat.
So I got one more question, actually. Being the shoe podcast, people will probably get mad if I didn't ask, but what's your shoe of the year, both of you?
Wow. I'll let you start that first.
Or what's your favorite shoe of the year? If you don't have, because when we do our list coming up soon,
lie to you, I like them Dior ones a lot. I didn't get them, I can't get them, but them Dior ones, I'm feeling those right there.
I'm gonna say for me that I didn't get to touch was the biohacks.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't get to touch those.
A lot of people.
I think that's what it was.
That was the shoe of the year for you, though.
I mean, I can't really. You know, I don't think when it comes to like the off-whites and all that, I'm never lucky with that stuff. So I don't even put that in my category.
Y'all got it. Hold on. The founders of the Fitted Gallery still got to work to get their sneakers.
Oh man, to an extent.
Okay,
it's still hard out there, man. It's crazy.
I'm like, I would feel like y'all having a hat. You know, having the hats as hot as you guys have them. Somebody will,
my brother's
help you
more plugged up than I am. PP is more plugged up.
You got the resellers out there, but you know they gonna crack you in your head. Once they hear the Fitted Gallery call them, they like, oh yeah, it's $1,000, put it to $2,000.
Right. They got it. They could pay.
And the resellers in New York City, like the local people, are a different breed than others, because I was watching something, and Jim Jones basically had them meet him at like some store in the hood that he was going to buy clothes at. And he was like, bring the shoes there and I'm going to go inside and match the shoes to the clothes. That's the craziest thing to me is like, I would never, like I said, I'm an old man. I would, back maybe when I was younger, I would meet up people to sell shoes. I'll never meet with someone in person ever again. We got StockX, GOAT, whatever else.
Yeah.
So it was just crazy.
They known, like they're like celebrities.
Right. The resellers are, right? That's what you talking about? You talking about the resellers are like celebrities in New York, right? That's what you talking about? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You got Upscale, Crack, you got all of them.
Yeah.
All of them, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of resellers out here.
That's way too much work for me. Like,
much work for
I'd
me.
be too stressed, man. Like, you know, just going out to New York. We've been to New York plenty of times. But going to New York and, you know, just vacationing is stressful. Let alone trying to like cop. Like, I couldn't imagine.
It's fast paced, man.
It's way too fast paced. But like I said, man, Kev and P, I appreciate you guys coming on the podcast, man.
I appreciate y'all, man. This is our first interview too, by the way.
Oh, word! Dang, look at that, man. We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to check. Well, 2021, we're gonna have to check in on y'all, see what y'all got.
Exactly.
What y'all got coming up next.
Man, it's nothing.
And we say this, everybody.
All the best of what you guys doing too.
We appreciate it. And everyone who comes on the show via Skype, we know it's not easy, but if you guys find yourself in Phoenix, come down to the studio. We'll get you in the studio in person.
Oh, yeah, that'd be dope.
Definitely. We got some more exclusive stuff coming to y'all too, man.
Oh, that's what's up, man.
We appreciate it.
That, man. All right, then. All right, Kev. All right, P. We'll talk to you later.
All right, man.
Take care.
All
right, you too.
Later.
right, later. One.
All right, no disrespect. Are we still recording or are we going to stop and restart?
Nah, we still keep going.
Okay, no disrespect to the gentleman, but I got to put my Dodger World Series championship.
Oh yeah,
hat
of course.
on.
We appreciate Kevin P talking with us about the shop. I hope somebody that listens to this gets something out of that. You know, open up a shop. We have friends personally who sell a lot of stuff. We say open up a shop, but that was a good conversation, man. I like the two cats, man. Knowing that they, you know, some young black dudes, man. I like that. And 2009 for your own shop, selling your own stuff in New York and still open is wild.
Yeah, I didn't know they were selling like hundreds and stuff like that. I meant more like a store that sells like, you order. What's the store in New York we order from or New Jersey? The hats.
Oh, like My Fitness,
Sports World 1545 or whatever, and then
they
so I expected their store to be more like that, but he said like hundreds and stuff. Like,
they sell clothes, they sell everything.
I mean, trends change, so people ain't wearing that stuff really no more. I mean, people in LA might be wearing hundreds, but I'm not no disrespect to hundreds.
Shout out to the Fitted Gallery. Obviously got the stuff on the screen. Follow them on social media. Some cool cats. Like I said, man, celebs. I see Chris Brown wearing it. Celebs rock their stuff. I think Victor Cruz was wearing it on like to the Today Show with Robin Williams.
Oh yeah, I was looking at their Instagram when you were
that's some
talking.
Dope stuff. So, but like we said, no disrespect, but I gotta take the hat off, man. I love the hat. The hat is high quality. It's dope. It, like I said, it's a bit much for me and George a lot of times, but I'll wear it. This joint is tight. This joint is cool. It's fresh. Make you feel a little New Yorkish, a little bit, son. You know what I mean? You know
what I meant to ask him? Like, do they have a relationship with J-Tips, or do they? I mean, I'm asking you, like, you know the answer, but I mean, ever do a collab with him?
Nah, I don't think so.
Should have asked him.
Warren Lotas, fam. Warren Lotas is the most popular person in the sneaker community.
Yeah, for all the wrong reasons.
All the wrong reasons. Fam, you know how many people sent, tagged, yo, look, that picture, like voice messages about him is he being sued again? Or is
apparently Nike is mad again because he tried to use those shoes as a reason to not refund people. The like designs he did. I guess Nike's main patent on the shoe is the outsole, like the bottom edge, which is something weird to me to complain about. But when you own patents, obviously people can't be out doing stuff without your permission. I mean, that's just how it works. But
it's a good thing you got your money back.
Good luck to him, man.
All right. And other people have getting their money back too as well.
I got my money back long ago and talked about it on the show. It's content, man. Why would I not get the money back? Then we have something to talk about.
You know what's funny?
People
about
can say
this?
Crazy stuff.
You know what's funny about this is that like even when he put the messages out like, yo, here's the replacement shoe, blah 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 blah. I found it funny because now I don't know if this is like everybody was so high on like Jeff Staple co-signing this, and I'm thinking to myself, okay.
Well, Staple lost all his contact at Nike, so obviously...
Well, so that was my whole thing because it was like, okay, if you're going to replace it with another shoe, it could still be Pigeon. Like, why wasn't it Pigeon as well? You got the okay from the owner of Pigeon, Staple.
Right.
Nike has nothing to do with Pigeon.
Right.
So I was like, okay, you couldn't make a different version.
But he would have to make an entire different shoe because obviously Nike's issue was the pieces of a dunk.
Yeah. But see, that was today we found that out. So people listen to this like when
But if he made you said he made what 25 million? If he would have made that back then and it just would have had a pigeon face instead of a Jason face or whatever, but it still looked like a swoosh or still looked like a dunk, I'm sure they still would have done the same thing.
Either way, I was just whatever he does or didn't do or don't do, I was like, you could still do Pigeon. Like you got the okay from the owner of Staple Pigeon. You can still do a Pigeon. And I was like, either Staple Man had to talk with Nike, like, yo, I was tripping, something. Because Pigeon Man is all over shoe surgeon trying to amp up that vote or die dunk with the pigeon with the top hat, whatever. He right there holding the Nike. I see Staple Man he on social media, got the shoes in his hand. I'm like, okay, you must have went back on that because that to me showed like that weight in Jeff Staples stuff. I don't care about that. Now Nike is trying to take his soul. He's gonna have to wave the white flag. He has to wave the white flag. He has to give up. You either gotta design something completely brand new, scratch this dunk skate,
or buy 1,000 blank white dunks, which I don't even know if that's possible. But you would have to buy 1,000 just all blank white dunks and then just customize them. And then listen, the thing, I don't know if we talked about it last week. I think I brought it up. I'm sure the listeners will remind me if I'm wrong or right, but charging $300 for those replacement shoes is insane. Now, you want to charge $120 and refund the difference? I think people will be fine with some of those. The Carolina color, the other one, the brown one's terrible. It would have been one of the other ones. I wouldn't have done that. I would have said, give me the money back because I'm not wearing this. It's not a pigeon. So, no, but there's probably a lot of people for $120 that just would have been like, all right, that's cool.
Maybe. I mean, yeah.
By the way, something I wanted to say. I know it's not
was a funny name to me.
I mean, the whole topic is funny, but them putting pictures of his Instagram and whatnot in the lawsuit is hilarious.
Do you have?
Hold on. One thing I want to say is like, fam, the packaging for Kai's Jordan 1s. Oh my God, the packaging is fire.
Fam.
Air Reeves packaging is insane.
Look, man.
We don't need to talk about that topic. I'm just saying,
like I said.
Damn, the packaging is fire.
Is fire. Okay.
I don't know if the shoe is any good. Like, it looks good, color blocked. I don't know if the
ain't for me. But I told somebody, and I said, but fam, it could be for me later. It ain't for me now, but it could be later. Them joints are fire. Now, that's my next question. Do you think Nike is going too hard on Lotus, man? Because I've said this before, and this is why in talking about Mosh, because with the first shoe when it came out, I don't think we were that hard on it, but like I said that the purple Mosh, fam, fire. I will be buying that one, okay? He said he's going to take the skull off the tag, so it's not like Minnesota represented, whatever. But that purple one, fire. I'm going to buy that one. Now, I said this. It just shows how hard it is to make a shoe from scratch. Like, it's hard. Like, it's so hard not to take away from everything you've grown up in. Like, if someone gave me a pencil and paper and said, make a shoe, fam, come on. I wouldn't even know where to begin. All I'd be thinking about is Jordan 1s. I'd be thinking about Jordan 1s. I'd be thinking about Jordan 11s. I'd be thinking about Reebok questions. That's all I think about. And somebody had said, yo, if you could make a shoe, what would it be with? And I said, I definitely want to do a human race because I feel like it's a better canvas. A human race original OG model of the Pharrell sneakers. But when I was thinking of sneakers, all I kept thinking about was doing like a color toe box, like a question and stuff. All I could think about. It is hard. Fam, imagine how much time we put in on Nike ID, fam. And when you go on Nike ID, what do? You start making all red, Yeezy colorways. You start making all this wax stuff. The creativity is so hard. That's why when people do the Pendleton Air Force Ones and stuff like that, I'm like, fam, that is fire. That's why Marky, so much fire. Because I don't think I would have thought about that.
It's fire, but then I looked at it and the materials are different than a regular Air Max 1. Right. So it has that's what makes bumps it up a little bit.
But that's what.
But the color blocking is fire.
Look, man, I feel like people keep asking why come Nike isn't going after everybody else.
Well, yeah, so I think it's specifically because of arrogance, number one, and number two, numbers of units sold. Like, my whole thing is like,
you think it would have did that if like Complex and every single sneaker publication, website, blog talked about it, like before.
He shouldn't have done a pigeon with Jeff Staple. I'm sure you're right. They're very more protective of a pigeon than just doing another.
I don't think so.
SB.
You think so? I don't think it's the pigeon.
Pigeon and number of units. What else would it be? I think that's what it'd be.
No, I think you're right about number of
all
units.
The other people like
popularity.
Kai and the one with the guns and all that stuff. I don't think they're doing big numbers. Now Kai has obviously a very large Instagram following, so I'm sure he could sell units, but he knows. At least I'm assuming this. He probably knows, like, man, I might want to sell 1,000 or less units, not try to make $25 million or whatever. Fam, I don't think he's also not charging $300 for it. That might have been another sticking point for Nike. Nike might have been angry that he was charging $300 for something that's not not handmade. Right. Like the shoe surgeon, people debate why the shoe surgeon stuff's so expensive. He takes a real shoe, you bring it to him, or he charges you for it, right. But he makes everything by hand. And then the majority of the materials on the shoe are from either a luxury good that's been cut up or like ostrich or alligator or something. Like, you're paying for his labor and the materials, which is way different than like a mass-produced Nike shoe in Bangladesh or China or Vietnam or whatever.
Shout out to the homie Rick, too. You see the Jordan 1 he made to look like the Kennedy? That was fire. Though.
Yeah, it is.
That's a nice bet. He made it himself. How it was fire. Shout out to homie Rick. Nike going. I do feel like Nike is like really trying to like make a point with him, and
they're probably trying to make an example out of him, but it has to do with everything. You know what I mean?
Right. And I think do I feel like it hinders creativity? No, because it can't hinder your creativity if your creativity comes from something that's already been created. So, like me personally, I will never buy. I don't like when people alter something to their own thing. Like, I just the reason why the shoe was so fire, and for the record, like the one Lotus shoe was absolute fire. If that was what you're gonna get, but it's fire because I love
pigeon.
The pigeon. Supreme Dunks, SB lows. You copping? They do suck.
They suck.
Okay, but why do they suck?
They look weird. They look weird with the alligator leather or whatever it is.
But you know what it is? Isn't Tiffany Dunks alligator leather?
I don't think the whole thing like that is.
Well,
just part of it.
But I think it's all the same parts. I think the color.
I don't think so. Something about that shoe stood out and was like,
this might be the first Dunk low I looked at and said, "Oh, this should stay a high." I don't think the highs suck. Like
yeah, but I don't think they were made like that.
No, it had alligator print and stuff like that on the blue, the red, and the orange. They're alligator print. I think. I feel like it is. I was like, fam. I was like, there is no way. Let me see. Supreme Dunk High. Yeah, it's alligator print. That was the thing too. I looked at these. I said this shoe probably should have stayed a high. I don't think I would have ever said that about any Dunk ever. I think. Yeah, look at that. It's alligator print. Whatever you zoom in.
Oh yeah, I don't remember that. I mean, the only place I've seen it in person is at a flight club or something like that. You know, I've never seen it in someone's house.
The colors they chose. So. The colors they chose are bad too. Like,
well, also the I don't think this is, at least on here, it doesn't look like it, but that doesn't look shiny. Like, you look at the pairs that they made. It's obviously not patent leather, but it looks like shiny leather. It's weird. It looks to me like they picked weird materials.
You know, with the Tiffany ones that had like the alligator print sort of in the same area or whatever, that Tiffany blue blocked so well that it like distracted you from that. Like, when did these come out originally? 2014?
What shoe are you talking about?
Oh, this came out in 03.
What shoe are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about the Supreme Dunk. When did Tiffany's come out?
04, 05?
04. So
05
like,
maybe?
That type of stuff, I just feel like for us personally, at least me, if you're going to do a full print on something, it got to be done extremely well for me to care. Like, I was like, I first saw him, I said, I wonder if this is one George would keep. If you got the blue one, Dodger blue, looks like Dodger blue, would you keep that one?
No, because I have a Kentucky Dunk already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I don't care about any of those. The green one I might keep because it looks that much different from everything else that's come out. It's going to be impossible to get them unless Nike releases and you get lucky on sneakers or whatever. Because people ain't fam.
I haven't had a hard time buying sneakers on Supreme for homies.
Fam,
I bought a few.
Fam, it's a Dunk.
You're right.
SB Dunk. SB Dunks are selling for $1,500 out the shop these days. Now, if Supreme comes up with some new way to block bots, then obviously all the manual checkouts are going to happen. But people still have like autofill and all these other things to help them put the address in immediately. Because Supreme, it's not like they don't have Apple Pay. You know what I mean? They have their own processor, checkout, whatever. And if you don't have it saved in your thing, you have to manually type all that shit in.
Use PayPal. Like, you don't have to do any more autofills now. Last thing I bought off
if you set it up and do it on Chrome, absolutely, yeah. But you have to do that, and you have to be fast. You have to have fast internet.
See, that's the thing. I'm using regular Safari, and I started typing it to get the Air Maxes for tapes, and it just filled it all in. And I was like, oh, shoot. And I kind of clicked the PayPal.
Yeah, all the browsers have it, but Chrome is probably the fastest one.
I never had set it up. So I was like, oh, well. But you were right. Supreme, you had to type in every single thing. Your address, all that. I did have to do it for something I bought for somebody else probably like a few weeks ago, and I think that's probably when it just saved it or asked me to save it. I don't know. Like, I mean, come on. I said this about Dunks. The thing that to me
they're not worth keeping.
The thing that to me ruined Dunks the first time when Dunks kind of faded out was like they started getting too crazy. Like, I feel like after that Concord Dunk, they started getting weird. Like, they became too much. They became difficult to wear. Besides the fact that like they were puffy and whatever. They just started visually looking way too hard to wear. That was sort of like Dunk's thing back in the day, but like right now I look at those and I see some of the other Dunks coming out and I'm like, these is kind of whack. Like, I just have no desire to cop any of the Dunks right now. None of the veneers, ceramics, none of those. Even though they're all suede and I said I'm cool with the suede ones, I have no desire. It depends
what it looks like. If I get it, it depends what it looks like when I get it in. The plums there's no way I would sell the plums ever.
Oh no, plums is.
But it might be the same thing.
Plums might be in the top 10 greatest Dunks of all time already. Maybe top 5. You know? That's how good plums are. To me.
What is this?
What else we say we're gonna talk about?
What is this?
Let me see. Pendleton?
Never seen that before.
Is it ID or something?
I don't think so. N7 collection.
I was gonna say that, but I wanted to hold off. What else we got on here? Trophy Jordan 1s. You like them?
Yes, because it's a Chicago that looks a little bit different.
Like the white.
There's a Jordan signature on the back or something, right? I mean, I don't care about that. But yeah, it's a Chicago 1 to me.
Everybody's asking like, well, we gotta talk about them. I'm like, I don't even know what to say about them.
Yeah,
I mean, what are you supposed to say? Like, they're fire. Like, it's a Chicago 1. The white thread on them, I like the white thread.
No one's getting it unless it, like I said again, it releases on sneakers or whatever else. Because the reason why so many people got Unions is they made the numbers high. You know what I mean? Like, I think people think about certain shoes and they're like, oh, it'll be the same to get it from ABC and XYZ. Fam, if they don't make however many numbers Union made, like for the what's the store called?
Trophy
Room ones, you're not getting them unless you spend $1,500. So like a lot of the times it's not even worth talking about that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, for us we have to because we have a podcast. But like all these people who think they're getting it, no, you're not, man. You're not getting
to the homie John King. I feel like the ones that came out online that weren't. I feel like quite a few people got them. Like I've never tried on Trophy Room. I tried one time when they had a Trophy Room sale.
Trophy Room is impossible because they don't stop bots. Now, if they, that's for a release they might have 40 pairs of, or 30 pairs, or 60 pairs, or whatever.
Well, so there's no reason they had. They showed that room with them in.
But they didn't have. It wasn't anywhere near as many pairs. Like I think they made 5,000 or something. It wasn't anywhere near Union 4 level number of pairs. Or Union 1s.
Honestly, I feel like they should just be strictly to Florida. Like, I don't even see the reason to put them online. It should be. These are like something.
Well, we don't know. They might do a raffle or.
You know what I hate? I think like.
Is that in the thing?
One thing. Nah, I think one thing about being in Arizona is like, hopefully like Manor or something like that gets to that level. But like, I want something like that to happen out here to where I would go put my chair out there and sit out there and get it. If I was in Florida and it was a Florida only thing, I'd go put my chair out there and go get it. Like, I
don't know if the store in Disney World anymore. I thought it moved.
It moved, I think.
Okay, because in Disney World you couldn't camp. At least I don't think so. You had to either wait in your car or they did raffles or something. So I don't think there's no camping at Disney World.
That was stupid anyways from the get go. It was like, you were talking about like an ultimate flex, but like, come on, man. Like, you were talking about flex and put your store aside Disney World, but like, it just made no sense. It just was like, And honestly, I don't know a ton about the store. The store is kind of whack. From what I've seen, like, I just wouldn't expect it to be something about the Jordan 23 Foot Action stores and Trophy Room. I feel like I should just be able to get unlimited Jordan. I don't know why. Like, you go into those stores, it'd be the most flight team Jordans you ever seen in your life. I'm like, yo, where the ones at? Y'all got Brad Forza here? Like, where the Brad Forza at? I don't want these Nike running shoes. I don't want these Jordan running shoes. He got a basketball. What are these running shoes for? They all right. They fire. We're not getting them. If I could get them, definitely a keeper, unless they're going for like 2,000. Then they sell them. But the white thread around the leather looks fire. I like the vintage look. I like the signature in the back. It's fire.
Vintage look is always going to be good. Or right now.
I think it's forever. Vintage look is fire.
The shoe is nice. Obviously, we haven't seen it in hand. Doing vintage stuff right now works, but it's a Chicago 1. It's gonna sell. People are gonna like it. It's fire. Doesn't matter.
It's amazing that like they'll do everything except a Chicago 1. Fam, when are we gonna actually get a Chicago 1? We've gotten
2016.
Yeah, but fam, like we've gotten a few variations of like things close to it. I don't know if you had saw. I don't know if you had saw KYRIE, KD supposed to be doing a collab sneaker or something like that.
Yeah, there's no sample picture though, right?
No.
Or was there? Okay. I think more stuff like this should happen. I think to me, it's kind of cool. Does it matter? Because that's a question you always ask. No, but I think it's kind of cool. And if they hit it out the park on the first one, then it will matter for other ones.
I don't think you remember. We talked about this a lot. I'm talking like episode 22 or something. Like, we talked about players doing collabs with players. We said, what if they're gonna do that? We talked about this.
I think we were saying goofy stuff though, like Adidas and Nike or
no.
whatever.
We were talking about players a long time ago, and I think it's kind of cool. My whole thing was like,
they play for the same team, so I'm sure that has something to do with it. But
I want to see cross teams. I want to see a KYRIE.
That's weird. I mean, yes, you're right, but that's weird.
See, it would be the same brand though. It would be weird. But like a LeBron KYRIE, I know they got a weird relationship, but that'd be fire. I mean, you really can't say nothing about it. I mean, I don't know what would it be. It wouldn't be a KYRIE shoe. It wouldn't be a KD shoe. What the heck would it be? Would it be two shoes? Like, a new model? Like, what would it be?
No, I think they should combine to make one new complete shoe. Like, if you're talking about it's just going to be a pack where you get a Kyrie shoe and a KD shoe, that's dumb and no one's going to care. They should combine to design a new shoe. Get Eric Avar, the Kobe designer. Get whoever designs, what's his name, Leo something, the one that does all the KDs. You know what I'm talking about?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, get them all together and design it. I mean, make a new shoe. Nike got to do something creative here at some point.
At some point.
I mean, they probably don't need to because they'll just keep selling stuff and people keep begging for it. But like, let's do something new.
Fam, Adidas needs
at least Nike basketball is not going to fly unless you do something new. Nike basketball has been dead and buried. So
you know what's crazy is like I really thought this year, maybe like going into next year, basketball was going to come back. It had its moments with like LeBron 7s. Although LeBron 8 is going to come out and stuff like that.
The pandemic stopped everything. I mean, there's
right,
no fans. Like, there's nothing to influence other than social media.
But see, like that's what made me like go revert back to like, you know what, Nike basketball will never come back, maybe because red carpets and the Christmas LeBron 7s are probably two of the best 7s of all time besides ones that never released. And them joints are now, I think I could get a pair like brand new $97 somewhere. Like, that's what's crazy. You red carpets? Fam, I remember Johnny Gonzalez bought a pair of red carpets from somebody at like Ben Haddo's thing. And he said, "Okay, sold it to me for like $230 or $280." And I was like, what? And they're my size. And I was like, heated. Fam, them joints, I think they're still sitting on like a couple sites, like a size 13, like weird stuff like that. Like, it's crazy. So, like, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, all the retro stuff.
I mean, if that happens, Nike clearly is making too many pairs. I mean, that's
way too many.
We want them to make more pairs on the other stuff we want and less pairs than that. You know what I mean? So
I didn't say when we do it at the top of the show. I think we'll have plenty of time to get to it. But we're going to do top 10. I did what you said. Top 10 action movie stars to us. Okay,
it's an impossible list.
You know how many times I went back to it?
I have like 7 honorable mentions or 6.
You want to talk about this? I'm not even joking. It might be the hardest list I've ever made.
People are going to be upset about it. I wanted to put it like a shocking number 1, but then when I went and looked at what the person I put number 1 did, I was like, yeah, I can't do that.
I put my favorite number 1, but you can't argue.
I wanted to put the most.
You can't argue.
See, here's the thing, and we'll talk about it. I'll tell you who I wanted to put number 1 because I was watching a movie.
Probably who I put at number 1.
I was watching a movie the other night, and it was from 94 or something. And you go back and you look at there's movies he's in and the relevance. And by movies he's in, I don't mean like he is in one now, but back then he wasn't in like, you know, Avengers. Like, he's not like Iron Man 1 through 4 where you have like 4 guaranteed success movies. I'm talking about movies that were completely different plot, completely different whatever, and they're now cult classic movies, and he killed it in all the roles. So
that's why, like,
and now he's a superstar action person.
My number 1 is my favorite, but the movies are great. You could argue that like people should be way ahead of him, but like you can't argue my number 1.
See, and I bumped people historic So I'll just say who's not number 1 on my list, even though he's on my list. I won't tell you what number, but Schwarzenegger's on my list. Obviously, he's not number 1.
Right.
Obviously, I'm a little bit older, so there are movies that he made that were like my favorite movies growing up. And he's an old man now, so he kind of like out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. Same thing with another person who was like compared to him in that era. I won't say because I'm not gonna ruin my whole list.
Oh, okay.
But
I don't have him. I don't have neither one of them on my list.
Like I went and looked. Anytime we do a list like this, I always go online to see what people think. And a lot of these lists are from like 2016, 17 or whatever, so they're kind of old now because more movies have come out. But almost every list I looked at had Arnold Schwarzenegger number 1. And I respect that. People put him number 1. But if you're out of sight, out of mind, and granted, it's not his fault. He's just old now. Right. You just get bumped down pegs as people step up. Now, I'm not putting like Vin Diesel ahead of him, even though Vin Diesel was like a top action star in 2020. But Vin Diesel's not going to... I'm talking about people who've been in the game for almost just as long as Arnold Schwarzenegger, but are still relevant, will go over him.
There would be only one reason I would have had a Vin Diesel on my list is because I do feel like...
He's an honorable mentions.
And I would feel like he has a movie... We could consider one of the...
It's hard for him to sell. It's hard for him to sell a movie on its own because, like, I'll tell you what. I thought Bloodshot was kind of fire. It's like the plot's stupid and like what they did. Yeah, what they did in the movie was kind of dumb, but it was fire entertaining.
That was good.
I mean, like, so, but. You know, like, you look at some of the stuff he's done. He did that. What's the other one where he's like not a vampire, but something in the dark?
Riddick.
Yeah, that Chronicles of Riddick or whatever.
It was okay though, some of them.
But like that's not a blockbuster. He's not carrying an entire blockbuster by himself, whereas the people on my list are carrying blockbusters.
Oh, okay. You might hate my list.
No, it's not. That's the thing. It's impossible because it's not.
That's a hard list.
It's not possible to hate someone's list. I know there's people out there who disagree just because people are passionate about every single list we do. But
I don't have a single Avenger on any of them Marvel.
Neither do I.
None. Okay.
Because and I think we can say Marvel Universe and DC Universe in our honorable mentions in terms of those are great action movies that everyone wants to go see, but it's not an action superstar that's carrying a movie.
You know, I'm going to ask you this question when we get to it, because I was going to ask you that too. Dodgers winning. So we already talked about it kind of a little bit. I don't know if you want to talk about it first. Actually, you know what? Let me say something real first. So, like, I had texted you that was my dad's birthday, right? And, you know, everybody was like, yo, let's talk about your tweet. That's crazy. And I didn't want to talk about it because, like, when my mom remarried, such a crazy thing. Like, I have a crazy life. When my dad's birthday is October 27th. When my dad remarried, my stepdad was October 27th. So it was like, what the heck, man? Like, I got a new stepdad, and what the heck? Why you got to say his birthday? Always a weird thing. But, like, my dad, I talk about that all the time. My dad worked literally from the bottom of where he worked at Kmart. Y'all might not know what Kmart is. And got his way up to the top of his own stores and stuff like that. And the person that gave him an opportunity, my dad hated baseball. But I talk about you and me being an OG, like, well, we just old. But, like, when we were in California, they would decorate the light poles. You would see the Dodger blue. You would see the Lakers colors with, like, playoffs and stuff like that. You know, like, they would put the banners on all the light pole. You drive down the street, like, you knew it was, like, you know, it was cracking, you know, type thing. They don't spend money on stuff like that anymore, hardly. So, like, I remember my dad told me, hated baseball. But there were two things that he always reenacted. He always reenacted Gibson home run. He always did that. And Ali versus, can't remember the guy's name. Dodging all the punches. He always liked to do that.
Thriller in Manila?
Things. Yeah, but who we fighting? It wasn't Joe Louis, but it was like somebody Doink.
George Foreman, maybe?
Dirk. I can't remember. It was somebody unknown. And, but I remember my dad told me.
Larry Holmes?
Nah, it was somebody unknown, like Dirkish, somebody weird.
You sure about that?
100%. Because I remember he was on the ropes like this. He gave him a little shimmy. Like, he was dodging all those 21 punches. But my dad told me that we watched the Dodgers 88. I remember exactly where I was at 88. I was at my mom's friend's house who went to church. I hated her house because it smelled just like whatever she cooked. I remember being there when they won in the 88. But I remember my dad told me, he's like, I cannot stand watching baseball. He'll watch the World Series, he'll watch the playoffs. But he said the guy that gave him the opportunity to, like, move up, that always was like, oh, Gary, move up, Gary, get Gary. Gary's the next guy, was the biggest Dodgers fan ever. And he said, we will always root for the Dodgers. That's it. He didn't watch it. He didn't care for it. Happy to win, watching World Series, all that stuff. But he said, no matter what, I always root for the Dodgers. That was the period of time when I started really getting into baseball. And I started liking the Yankees. The Yankees is a historic franchise. They always won. That block of time when, like, I really started getting this sport, they were the winners.
I mean, they had some likable players, but they had a lot of hateable players too. I mean, Jeter is a likable player unless you're a Red Sox fan or whatever.
But I used to like Cone. I used to like David Justice and stuff. I used to like, you know, some of the players, some of the pitchers all the time. But like, somebody was like, man, this has to feel good for you guys. Let me tell you something. When it's like the Yankees, you think about Yankees, you think about New York. And it was dope. We had the guys from the Fitted Gallery on the podcast. When I go to New York, when I think of New York, I see the buildings and stuff. I look at New York and I say to myself, man, like how amazing humans are. Man, like, man, look at this, man. The bridges, it makes you feel like you can do anything you want when you go to New York. Like, you just think, that's it. I'm about to work hard. I'm about to get busy. When you go to California, there's people who've never been to California. There are people who saw the Dodgers win and said, I've never been to California, which always sounds crazy to me. When you go to California, you see how higher power, me, God. You go to California, you see how amazing God is. Like Mother Nature. You see the beach, the sky, the weather, everything. California is touched by the heavens. The Dodgers winning the World Series is one of the best feelings ever, okay? When I got home, I'm driving. Like, I'm literally holding back tears driving because I think about my dad, like, man, just him to see it because he's missed so much in my life. But you think, like, I wish you could have saw that. And my wife's in the bed, she put my daughter to bed. I walk in the room and I said, the Dodgers won the World Series. I was like, can you believe this? Like, even when they're this good, you still be like, we'll see what happens. Like,
yeah, they're expected to lose.
We're expected. By me. But that's all I had to say about it. Shout out to the Dodgers. Shout out to everybody who told us congratulations. I mean, we didn't do nothing, but, you know, thank you. They're like, yo, congrats! I'm like, yeah, you know, I swung the back pretty good that night. But
swung the bat pretty good. Yes, you didn't let a grounder hit you in the chest.
It's a good feeling, George.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to put words together for that. I didn't know we were going to talk about this, but I remember watching the 1988 series. I was at home. My dad, Gibson hit the home run. Game 1 is the only game I remember. I know they lost game 2, and then after that, just swept the rest of the series. It's kind of a blur. But I remember when Gibson hit the home run, my dad said Captain Kirk, and the next day in the newspaper, the headline was Captain Kirk. I was trying to find a picture of it online. I don't know if it was like LA Times or Pasadena Star News or Tribune or whatever it was.
So we bought that, LA Times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot to say it on pickups. They had to buy the LA Times Dodgers Championship Edition or whatever you call it. Now, my sister went to look for it. I should have told this story earlier. My sister went out at 8 a.m. to look for newspapers and drove around her entire neighborhood, and plus I think like the next neighborhood over, no newspapers anywhere. And her husband's brother is like a general manager at a grocery store chain or something in Southern California. I guess people were lined up at 6 a.m. to buy, whenever these stores open, to buy every single newspaper. And I don't know if they're trying to resell them or they just want to have them to hand out to family. You know, paying $15 for a newspaper is not my idea of value,
right?
But I didn't care. I mean, if the Dodgers won the championship, who knows again when it's going to happen. Waited 32 years, 8 straight years of losing in either the World Series or NLCS or NLDS when they're expected to advance. So, you know, it was obviously a special feeling, difficult to put into words. I put an IG post up, but even that was like, you know, kind of seemed like, yeah, it's not easy to explain.
It ain't like the Patriots.
I think it kind of hasn't even set in yet. Like, no, I don't think people understand. People not from LA don't understand. Like, I would go as far to say as the Dodgers mean more to that city than the Lakers do. A lot of people might think that's foolish because of the Lakers' history as a franchise. If you watch the videos in Los Angeles after the Dodgers closed Game 6 out and saw all the fireworks in the city, that didn't happen when the Lakers won. No. Now, maybe it was because it was 32 years and the Lakers have won recent championships, but the level of special of the Dodgers winning is different than the Lakers.
And that's where you go back and think, like, because it was funny for a period of time. Like, when you do start to get into baseball and you love baseball, and I think of back when, like, Red Sox, Cubs, just the long history of losing. And, like, you know, when you're, like, you know, kind of younger, it's funny. It's like, man, they lost again. It's funny. Then once you get a little older, you're like, God dang. Like, I started feeling that way for him. And I started feeling that way when I watched this interview from somebody, the Cubs game. And they were talking about when they finally won the World Series, and they were talking about all their family members that's passed away. That's what makes you think about that
That's different. So, like, yeah, I mean, by no means am I trying to compare this to... Of course not. The Cubs or Red Sox, because they've had, and my dad passed away when I was 10 after the Dodgers won in '88. He died the next year. It would have been fantastic for him to get to see another one, obviously. But you think about how many more people die in a 100-year span than in a 32-year span.
Facts.
Even though I read constant stories on Twitter this last week about, like, someone's dad just passed last year and then the Dodgers won it. Like, that's kind of stuff sad. You know what I mean? Like,
some were talking about this year. Some were talking about people who got corona.
Oh, yeah, coronavirus, yeah.
Fam, I'm sitting here like, do you know how whack that is to, like, a pandemic come? Like, come on, man. Like, that's when you just like, man, come on. Like, can the universe give you something? But like I said, man, like, you know, I'm way more removed from California than, I mean, I Bay Area longer than I was in LA. But like, I go to LA every year. I don't visit nobody because they're all crazy people. But like, you know, like I said, California is a feeling. It's so good. If you cross the border driving, you just get something in you. It's a feeling. Like you said, Dodgers, I think, mean more to LA than the Lakers. But LA was that Showtime, Hollywood. Like, LA, the 80s Lakers and stuff like that showed, like, how spectacular California was. Like, the rich, the everything, you know, magic, you know. It showed how, you know, unique, you know, California is to everywhere else. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, like, Dodgers... Man, like you said, it's hard to put in words. And like that night, money was no object. All right, like it wasn't.
I copped the Undefeated T-shirt. Mainly just because Twitter, like, you know, when the team wins, Twitter goes crazy with all the championship gear. But
Right.
Undefeated is an LA establishment. Like, obviously they have, you know, Japan is probably their next biggest market or whatever, but Undefeated is not from Japan. Undefeated is from Los Angeles, fam. They don't, now, maybe they make Japanese championship winning gear in Japan stores for, like, you know, a Japanese baseball team or whatever that, because Japanese baseball is obviously extremely popular. Right. I mean, we have Mr. Baseball with Tom Selleck here, where he went and played, you know, for a team that looked like the Dodgers uniform or maybe it was Yankees. It looked like one of the uniforms in the show. So obviously everything in Japan is based on Major League Baseball teams in terms of colors. Like, one of their most popular teams is the Yomiuri Giants, and they're same color as San Francisco Giants. Yep. They have a team that has jerseys that look like Yankees. They have a team that has jerseys that look like Dodgers. So obviously Japan baseball is very big, and Undefeated might have done something, but Undefeated is from LA. So that's why that was the first thing I bought, even though it wasn't like officially licensed gear. It didn't say Dodgers on it. It didn't say World Series. It didn't say MLB. It just said Los Angeles Champions, and it had the baseball logo. Right. So
I remember you had saw it.
Who knows? Maybe they got sued or something. I'm not too worried about it because I think that Born and Raised shirt is fire, especially since once I found out it was a collab with 47 brand and it was an official MLB shirt, it made me feel better. And I just was like, all right, I'm going to buy it and not even think about it.
See, that was the whole thing with like the Undefeated shirt was like when you had first like, yo, you want it? And I was like, only because Undefeated sizes, I never know how they are. You could buy a medium, sometimes it's an undershirt. You buy a large, and sometimes a goddamn Mitchell Ness jersey. Like, you just never know with them. But it was one of those things where, like, it didn't matter. Like, it didn't matter. You said Hannah bought a Christmas ornament. I almost bought one, too. And I was like, well, Rocio won't let me put this on the tree. But, you know, but, I mean, come on, man. Like, the Dodgers winning the World Series, to me, baseball championships are always... They last longer to me, like, than any other sport. Like, the Lakers win it, oh man, that was dope. It fades away faster. A baseball championship lasts the entire year to me. Super Bowls, just like that. They gone. Like, it's just like that. World's gone like that. Stanley Cup gone like that. I feel like the Masters in golf and baseball championships to me last like longer. Like, a Masters to me means a lot. Like, I
think the baseball championships for the big teams, like, everyone remembers the Cubs won it. Everyone remembers the Red Sox won it in 2004. People will remember the Dodgers won it. No one's going to, and I'm not trying to disrespect anyone, no one's going to remember the Nats won it last year. I'm sorry. I already forgot about that. That is the one. Yeah, that's the one. The other thing was when the Dodgers went down 3-1 to the Braves, and it might have even been when they were down 1-0 or 2-0 or whatever. I was seeing things that were like, writing articles about the Braves being a juggernaut, this, that, and the other, and they're like the equal of the Dodgers. I'm a statistics person. We talk about this on the show a lot. Fam, the Braves were on pace to outscore teams by this exact same amount as the Nats last year and win the exact same number of games as the Nats last year. Does anyone remember that Nats team besides people in Washington? No. The Braves are not a juggernaut. They would have not been remembered. It would have been the same exact thing. And again, this is not disrespectful. This is just based on statistics. The Dodgers were on pace to win 116 games and potentially break the Major League record for wins in a season and winning percentage. The Dodgers also potentially were on pace to break the run differential record for MLB. It was a historic regular season team, one of, and I've seen since some of the websites do analysis on it, one of the 5 greatest teams performance-wise from the regular season in history. Now it's a 60-game season, so it has an asterisk for the regular season. The playoffs were more difficult.
Way more difficult.
There was an extra round where you play in a 3-game series against a team that had no business being in the playoffs, but absolutely in baseball can beat you on any single day. So the people putting the asterisk for the Dodgers championship are wrong because more teams got in the playoffs. Putting the asterisk for the regular season, statistics-wise, fine. But their rating, team rating, based on runs and all that kind of stuff, people are going to remember the Dodgers championship forever unless they win the next 5 in a row. I mean, it just is what it is.
But I will say that, like, the previous World Series and then some of the, in the NLCS losses, like, whatever, like, the first one against Boston and stuff like that didn't bother that much because that series was such a good series. And I can't believe I forget about that. Like, I always forget about that Boston one. It was such a good series. And then, like, you think about the Astros, you think about all these other ones and stuff like that. And, like, for some reason, I already said in my mind that, like, if we had lost this, it wouldn't have bothered me that much because we were so good. I just in this window of, like, 1 to 3 years, like, we're going to get. It would be ridiculous. Now, us beating the Braves, how we did, we have to win it now.
It would have bothered me just because you can't lose the percentage chance of losing 8 years in a row with those good teams was like less than 1%. So statistical anomaly. So it would have bothered me from that perspective, that the Dodgers lost again, but it wouldn't have bothered me as much as the previous years because they just signed Mookie to a forever deal and he's going to be back. So once you realize that Mookie's back, like I was like,
that
whatever.
was the whole thing. Like the Mookie thing made me feel like I'm good. Like,
but once they won, then I just start talking crazy to everybody.
Fam, the Mookie signing in the money, fam, he might have been underpaid. Okay, that's how good he is. Like you want to talk about? It's not easy being a baseball player making a team good. Like. They talked about, like, they're talking about the individual players, and they were talking about him. They were saying, like, about how in practice, batting, how hard he works, how the size of him, and how much power. Like, they were talking about all this stuff about him. And they were saying that, like, I can't remember, I don't know if it was Seager, whoever it was, maybe Belly, it was one of them, and he was like, they were saying that seeing him makes you want to do so much better. And they were like, he's just such a good person and so happy. And I was like, that's not an easy thing to do in sports. They said that, like, he never makes you feel any type of way when you're not doing good or nothing like that. And any other sport it's impossible that way, like in other sports. Football, basketball, another basketball player could make you get in your head, ruin your game. Quarterbacks, all these players can like do. I was like, man, I love that. That's why I bought the Dodgers Mookie jersey. Like, I haven't bought a current baseball player jersey, I think maybe since Deion Sanders played for the Reds. I think that was the last current baseball jersey I bought. Cincinnati Reds, Deion Sanders. All Mitchell and Ness, all throwbacks, all old stuff ever since. I mean, it's just such a good feeling. I can't even describe it. Like, it's such a good feeling that, like, it's not ending the rest of the year. Stop. Like, Dodgers, period, next year, can't wait to, like, I can't wait to go to a game. Like, I know we talked about going, me, you, and Sybil, but, like, I'm going for certain. No, we're going COVID. If COVID is bad, I don't care. I'm going. I'm sitting next to a cardboard statue.
I think in MLB, I think they're watching what like the NFL is doing, where you can let in 25% of the fans,
right,
and space them out, zip tie the seats or whatever, and do it that way. And I think MLB will see that and realize that you can do that, and people won't get infected. Because you're outdoors.
Right.
Now, in some of the stadiums that are indoors, I know that Texas stadium was indoors, but they opened the roof for the majority of those games.
Such a nice stadium, too.
I think MLB will be able to, if the vaccine is here by April, then obviously things will probably completely change. But if a vaccine isn't here and things are still the same, I think they probably go to the NFL model, at least in certain cities where you're allowing. It's obviously based on the state. The state has the law, the county has the law, or whatever. So maybe the Dodgers won't have fans because California had high breakouts or whatever. But a city like
Atlanta?
I was thinking that at first, but like a city with like a lower population where people are spread out more, don't live on top of each other, and like
Atlanta, cats in Atlanta say it ain't Corona don't exist. They just doing whatever they want up there. So
yeah, I mean, I could see. What's a good example? Like Minnesota has an outdoor stadium. I could see them having fans because they're. Minnesota is like more of a rural, even though they have a downtown in Minneapolis, it's more of like a rural area, metropolitan area than LA or New York or San Francisco or whatever. You know what I mean? So like people being spread out and the stadium's outdoors, I could see a state like that might have fewer cases or fewer hospitalizations or whatever, allowing people to come to a stadium as opposed to like the stadium. Obviously, I would imagine New York is not allowing people to go into Yankee Stadium and Shea Stadium, not Shea, but Citi Field or whatever anytime soon. California, probably not, but I can see baseball doing it next year. But yeah, Dodgers are World Series champs. Can't take it away from them. It may come out later that there was some cheating or something. Who knows? Like the Astros fans, I'm sure were not expecting, to find out about a cheating scandal 2 years later.
Right.
Fam, I didn't blame their fans at the time, and I'm not going to apologize either. I don't care.
Nope.
Can't take that ring away.
Nope. NFL picks.
Let's see here.
I will say the Cowboys won the Super Bowl.
If they won, or I thought you said they won.
The Cowboys won the Super Bowl, it'd be Super Bowl. I mean,
no,
I watch all the Cowboys' other Super Bowls.
There's no championship for me that would be the equivalent of the Dodgers winning a World Series. Baseball was always the first sport for me, just because that's my dad told me. Watching the Raiders win a Super Bowl would be cool, and obviously I'm a irrational fan when it comes to like yelling at the TV and whatever else. it would be super cool, but. And I'm a big Raider fan. I own Raiders gear, whatever else. Like I'll always be the one yelling at the game, but it's not the same. It's hard to explain. Like I said, if you're not from LA,
right,
you don't understand. It may be the same in Boston, New York City because of the Red Sox and like Chicago for the Cubs.
Baseball teams represent your city more than any other sports teams to me.
Maybe. It's like, called like America's greatest pastime. Who knows? Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like there's something that with the Dodgers that I don't have ties to other teams. I've seen the Bulls win it enough times. Right. I don't care about the Bulls. Right. I mean, I shouldn't care about I shouldn't say that. I don't care about the Bulls winning it again because they won it 6 years in a row when I was an older teenager. So I've seen that. Like I said, it'd be nice to watch the Raiders win it. College football, USC had one of the greatest runs of all time. I don't care about that. You know, it'd be nice. Obviously, it's nice when your team wins, regardless. But the Dodgers were the championship that I always wanted, and now I have it, and I don't care what anyone thinks. I don't care. You know, like I said, the next 5 years for me is like the bonus, like the cherry on top. You know what I mean? Like right. I'm not worried about anything. Do I want Arizona basketball to win a national championship? Absolutely. They're probably going to get punished by the NCAA and they won't even be playing in the tournament, but it is what it is. Do I want so for those who don't know, I went to Arizona and then transferred to Northern Arizona. So that's why I'm an Arizona fan. And the USC fandom is just from growing up in LA. Indoctrinated by my dad to be a Raider fan when they were in Los Angeles, USC fan, obviously, and Dodger fan. And then I just decided to go to Arizona to college instead of USC because it was cheaper. I got into both schools. There's no way I was making USC's tuition happen. So, so that explains a little bit about that. And then the Bulls fandom is just like I was a Jordan fan growing up. All my friends were like obnoxious Laker fans, so I just kind of rebelled against the team that was winning at the time for the team that was up and coming and losing to the Pistons and Celtics and whoever else every year. So that explains that. Anyways. First game of the week, Thursday night football is Packers at Niners. Packers are 5.5 point favorite.
Packers. Aaron Rodgers not losing 2 in a row at all this year. Them losing to Minnesota at home was wild, but Minnesota gave the ball to Cook like there should have been a lot more lately.
The Niners have 500 bazillion injuries, like more injuries than anyone's ever seen.
Kittle's out for 8 weeks. Packers.
I'm still picking the Niners, though, because they're at home, and these are the type of games the Niners end up winning. Yeah, the Niners are at home. These are the kind of games they end up winning when no one expects them to win. Like the game against Miami a couple weeks ago, the Niners were a big favorite in that game at home, and then Miami beat them like 40-0. And then the next week, everyone was like, oh, the Niners suck. I'm going to pick whoever they played. And the Niners beat the shit out of whoever they played, and they did it again the next week. So, like, obviously, they're a liability, the quarterback spot, and whatever else. But the Niners are at home. I'm picking them to win, and I definitely would lay the number. Or sorry, I definitely would take the points with the Niners in Vegas. 5.5 points is way too many for that game. Regardless if the Niners win or lose, I think they cover the number. I mean, I don't see them losing by more than 4. So,
well, the way they scored so quickly against, Seattle defense is one of the worst in the league, but like they freaking closed a 20-point gap.
There were a couple defensive performances last week that didn't make much sense, but when you look back, because the defenses were terrible, but when you look at how much win there was in all those games that were played along the East Coast, fam, none of those games were set up for like high-scoring affairs at all. They had like 30-mile-an-hour, 40-mile-an-hour gusts in Cleveland. The first field goal was a banana, fam. I thought it was going to miss right, and it missed left.
Curb.
Second game, Broncos at Falcons. Falcons 4-point favorite.
I'll pick Falcons.
I'll go with the Falcons. The Broncos beat somehow San Diego, or we'll just say Chargers.
Yeah, did they beat them?
The Chargers were up 24-7, and I fell asleep. I took a nap because it was a later game. I went to the bar with Simple to watch the Browns Raiders. Fell asleep when I got home. It was 24-7, and I plan to pick them every week for everybody pitching $25. I thought I had that game won when I went to sleep. Fam, it was a little like the third quarter with 10 minutes left when they kicked the field goal to go up 24-7. I wake up, I'm like, what, 31-30? With that whack quarterback Denver has? Man, what?
Chargers.
Falcons win. Denver may cover the 4 points, but I understand nothing about the Broncos because the defense isn't any good. What's the name is out still.
I don't understand nothing about the Broncos, Niners.
There's a lot of teams.
Rams.
That don't make any sense.
I don't understand the Rams either.
Yeah, but the Rams have actual talent. Like, they don't have...
Well, yeah, but I'm saying that's why I don't understand them. Like, one week you'd be like, he might be bad. Next week you'd be like, what the
hell? You're saying you don't understand them because they have our talent and don't play well, but don't understand the Broncos because they have no talent and play well.
Goff will look like...
Fam, the entire Broncos wide receiving core is out, basically. They have Hamler and Judy. Now, Judy's a first-round pick, but... Should those two dudes be scoring 31 points? Now, the Chargers had like an okay defense. Next game, Seahawks -2.5 at Bills. Something's going on with Josh Allen. He's been playing whack lately, but I'm going with the Bills still.
I'm going to go to Bills.
Bills win outright.
I mean, Seattle's really good, but I don't see them going to Buffalo.
Their offense is good, but
that defense is fam.
They play well at home.
I'm going to go Bills.
And it'll probably be really cold in Buffalo in November, whatever it is, 10th or 9th or 8th or whatever the day will be.
I sent you our records, too. Did you see it?
Nah.
We're trash. Hold on. You are halfway through the season. I am 50-51-1. You are 65-36-1. So you're doing all right.
I wish it was better. Next game, Ravens -2.5 at Colts.
This is like a Colts win to me, but like I'm gonna go Ravens, I guess. I don't like that game.
I don't know how the Ravens lost last week.
I do.
Pittsburgh did absolutely nothing on offense for like 80% of the game. They had a pick six and a defensive fumble recovery that they got down to like the 5-10 yard line or whatever.
Yeah, see, like on offense, you don't have to do nothing. They keep giving you the ball. I mean, he had 2 interceptions.
Right. I have no idea what Lamar Jackson was doing.
Lamar Jackson, like I said, I don't know, man. He's good.
Well, we'll see. It could be.
Mahomes and
it could be just that it's a weird year. I don't know.
Light years ahead of them.
Yeah, of course.
Him and Watson.
You don't like Watson. Don't say that.
I love Watson.
No, you don't.
I love Watson.
You don't like Watson. All right, I'm going to say Colts cover, Ravens win like by 1 on a late field goal or something. I don't know. I want to say Ravens win because that team is talent-wise way better than the Colts. Who knows? Your favorite team, Houston Texans, favored by 7 at Jacksonville. You want to talk about a whack team.
I think Jacksonville is the only team that Texas could beat, so I'm going to go Texans.
7 points in the NFL is a lot. I'm not laying that number on the road with Houston. Houston wins, Jags cover, maybe like Houston wins by 3 or 4 or something. Panthers at Chiefs. Chiefs -11. Chiefs win. I think the Panthers, again, cover. I mean, Chiefs have been killing everyone at home, but they've been playing teams that can't move the ball. The Panthers can at least move the ball.
Panthers only play good against the Saints, and it's like kind of good against the Saints. So Panthers are not that good.
Relax, fam. Lions at Vikings. Vikings favored by 4. Lions win. Vikings cover.
I'm going to pick Vikings. Vikings got to be high. They got to figure something out. I mean, they went in the Lambeau and won. Like, come on, man. Like,
I don't think
won easily.
I had the Vikings covering that game. They were getting 7. Like, Green Bay's not that good. But it's also one of those games where 7 points is too many. You can't lose at home to Miami.
Their defense is bad. They need more than Devontae Adams as a wide receiver.
Right. Aaron Rodgers is playing really, really well, but the team is not that good. Their running back was out, too, though. He's been out 2 weeks in a row. I have him in fantasy, so Aaron Jones, he's a star.
He started the season.
And he's supposed to be out again. Bears at Titans. Titans 6-point favorites.
Titans. Ooh, I don't know, man. Titans trash this week.
Yeah, they got killed by the whack Colts. I shouldn't say whack Colts, but like they shouldn't get killed by the Titans. Titans win, Bears cover. Giants at Washington football team. Washington football team -3.
Giants.
Washington football team off a bye. I'm going to go with them. As far as the spread goes, I guess Giants getting 3 points. I don't know. Let's see here. First, late game. Raiders at Chargers. Chargers favored by 1.
I mean, what? What are the Chargers favored?
They're at home, I guess. That's the only reason.
Yes, the Chargers will be, what? They'll probably be up 21-3 and then lose, probably lose like 34.
I don't understand that team. I don't think anyone's going up 21-3 on the Raiders. The Raiders like to do what the Chargers do, only do it worse. They get blown out late. But then they somehow have wins over the Saints.
Chiefs.
They have wins over 4 winning teams. Chiefs, Saints, Panthers aren't a winning team anymore. They were 3-2 at one point, but they've lost
Raiders
some.
Raiders play up and play down.
Yeah, exactly. They play up and down. So with that game, Raiders. I got the Raiders to win and covered that 1 point, but that's a whack game. Dolphins at Cardinals. Cardinals -4.5.
That's a hard game to pick.
Cardinals win, Dolphins cover.
I'm going to go Dolphins win. It's at home. It should be Cardinals.
Cardinals win, Dolphins
Dolphins
cover.
defense is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Ben, but don't brink. But then they make like a spectacular play. They'll let you go up and down the field on them, but then they get like a 90-yard fumble return or something. It's crazy, or a sack that like knocks you out of field goal range.
I'm gonna go Cardinals. I'm gonna pick Cardinals. I don't want to do that. I think I'm just hating it. I'm just going Cardinals.
You hater. Cardinals should win. It's not, it's not one of those games where you're like, I don't know. They should win. What I mean? Steelers minus 13.5 at Dallas. Steelers win. Cowboys cover. I'm not laying
what?
I'm not the spread. I'm not laying 13.5. Fam, I picked against Dallas this week, and I think did they not cover, or what was the score?
They scored 9.
Oh, Philly covered at the end. That's right.
9 to 23?
I mean, they got that fumble return to cover. Dallas should have covered that shit.
Is so whack.
The whole division is whack.
Oh my God. Fam.
I'm not laying 14 points on the road though. Dallas is going to have a new quarterback too. Danucci's ain't playing, so who knows?
They go bring in Cooper Rush, from the practice squad. Fam, the Cowboys will lose by 31.
Okay.
All right. You know what? I'm about to tell you this. The Cowboys score 0.
Okay.
That Steelers defense?
I disagree.
0.
Well, how many games did we watch this weekend?
Amari Cooper, 1 catch last week.
Cincinnati beat.
Maybe 2.
Cincinnati. Who did Cincinnati beat?
Cincinnati.
Titans? Is that who they beat? But I'm saying, like, every week in the NFL, something happens that shouldn't happen. It makes no sense.
I actually don't like this season of football. It's too unpredictable.
You don't like it because the Cowboys stink. That's why.
Nah, because the Cowboys stink anyway.
Sunday Night Football. Saints at Bucks. Bucks favored by 5.5.
Who won last time in
the Saints killed them week 1. It was like they won by like 3 touchdowns.
Was that it? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Week 1.
I'm gonna go Saints. Ooh, it's outside though.
Bucks win, Saints cover the 5.5.
Saints played their first outside game.
The Saints are like the team like against the Bears. They were down 14-3, and then they come back and cover, or they didn't cover. They pushed, I guess, or whatever.
Let's go Bucks, because Bucks and Giants game. Why was that good? Why was that a good game?
Bucks win, Saints cover. Final game of the week, Patriots -7 at Jets. You want to talk about the worst game of the season.
Jets is going to win that one. If there's a game, it's a rivalry game, and the Jets, not historically, but the last time.
Miami plays well at home against the Patriots.
Miami, Jets, and Patriot games, they can sometimes go. The Patriots usually on top win, but like they play hard against the Patriots. I think Jets win this game.
I don't think the Jets traded any. Oh, they traded a linebacker, I guess, but I don't think they traded like any. No. The Patriots can only win when they run the ball. That's the only reason they covered versus Buffalo. Why you in the NFL, a one-dimensional offense can beat you just doing one thing makes no sense. Cam has no threat throwing the football, so what Buffalo is doing, I have no idea. I know they suck against the run, but you can just commit an extra person to the box.
Edelman is out for 6 weeks too. He's hurt too. I mean,
the Patriots stink. I mean, the Jets are obviously bad because they're 0-8 or 0-7 or whatever, but the Patriots stink. I'm gonna go.
I actually think the Cowboys are worse than the Jets. That's how bad the Cowboys are. I think the Jets could beat the Cowboys.
Hold on a second. I just got a text I got to send back. I want to say Jets win their first game, and obviously they will cover because the Patriots are 7-point favorite on the road. I don't care about the game. I'm not going to watch 1 minute of it. Or I mean, maybe I'll watch it if I'm like have a chance to win pick 'em for the week.
Right.
But fam, you want to talk about the wackest game of the year?
And it's on Monday night. I mean, what is it? Is it Monday night?
Yeah, Monday night.
God, I don't want to be watching that.
Oh, you beat me. You went 8-6. I went 7-7. Good grief.
Yep.
I was 11-3 the week before that, though. That was the last game of the week. Top 10.
Let's do it. Top 10 action movie heroes to us. I'm gonna say my honorable mentions first. I got The Rock as an honorable mentions. I mean, they're entertaining. I mean, it's The Rock movie. Like, you watch.
You put him at number 10, or you did
honorable mention?
Honorable mention. Oh, fam, The Rock has to be in a top 10. Now, in 2020, you go back and look at all the movies. He's the most relevant. I think he's the highest paid actor in Hollywood now.
He is. But
yeah, he is.
I don't have a Rock movie as a classic to me. Like, not one. Like, that's how I did mine. Like, I was like, because like you said, there was something that I was like, I want him at number 1, but I was like, but I love his movie.
The rundown is really good in terms of like no one thought he could put comedic effect on a movie.
That's 13 years old, I think.
Yeah, but most of these movies are probably older than that.
Well, you're right.
I mean, fam, right. I got an actor on the list who I don't know. He did a movie last year, but no one cared about it. Like,
there's only one person on my list I consider a bad actor who made my list. Only one. Rock, I consider not a bad actor, but like, it's The Rock. It's entertaining. It's fun. I'm gonna mention. I got The Rock. My another honorable mention. I got Christian Bale. I don't go back and watch movies except Batman's.
Nah.
His Batman's, the war movie that he had that wasn't did was all right. It was good.
When I think Christian Bale, I think more like drama roles.
You know what?
And stuff.
So like that's what I was gonna ask you too. What's an action movie? Because
it doesn't have to be like guns and shoot 'em up, but it has to be like car chases and like it has to be action. It has to be entertained. Like
action to me doesn't mean like boom and blow up and
No, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't need to be blow up stuff, but like picture like the movie Triple X. Now the movie was terrible, but that's like the definition of an action movie.
Yeah, but that's the definition of like over the top action movie.
I'm just saying.
Okay,
it's
do
an
you
action
consider
movie.
Training Day an action movie?
Of course.
Okay.
It's probably more like a
crime thriller.
Yeah, it's probably more like a drama thing. But yeah, there's
that's fine.
But yeah, there's like people yelling and cursing and shooting and whatever else. Absolutely.
And I got Mel Gibson. I'm gonna mention as well.
Dang, man, you were disrespectful.
You got him in the 10?
Yeah.
I definitely want to hear your list.
Yeah.
You missing some people then.
Like I said, man,
I know you don't have this one guy in your list.
This is a career. This is not only a career list, but this is like
personal favorites.
It's both. It's that too.
It's everything.
Like I have some people on honorable mentions who haven't made a movie in forever, but when they were making movies, they were stars.
What you got?
Wesley Snipes.
Wait a minute.
Honorable mention. He's not relevant anymore.
No, forget relevant.
That matters.
That must matter to your list. I'm not. None of my. Maybe.
Listen.
Maybe.
Is he over Arnold? Is he over Arnold Schwarzenegger? No. So that's what I'm saying. Like you have someone who's Hall of Fame act. Listen, I get it. Wesley Snipes did Blade, Passenger 57. You go down the list. Fugitive, the second Fugitive, U.S. Marshals. He did in movies. Yes.
When you think of Arnold Schwarzenegger,
not a top
you
10.
think of 3. You think of Predator? You think of Terminator?
No.
What else?
Way more.
What else?
Keep going. What else were you gonna say?
No, what were you about to say?
No, keep going.
Predator?
Yeah.
Terminator?
Yeah.
Last Action Hero? True Lies?
Commando? True Lies is one of the greatest movies of all time in terms of being like...
It's a fire movie. It should have sucked.
That and Last Action Hero was like... It was like kind of like almost slapstick.
It was
but it
was
was
fire.
But it was
fire.
But it was like well done.
It was well done fire.
Yeah. Commando.
Eraser?
Conan the Barbarian. Fam, you get on the list. He is... And Expendables and whatever else he's done recently.
Literally all these people on Expendables too. Every single one of these movies.
Yes, he's number one by far. I don't have the list in front of me of like who's what.
Having Wesley Snipes out of your top 10 is crazy. It's not just for me and you. You know how we love.
When you hear the list, you'll understand. Steven Seagal, honorable mention. Fam, you want to talk about in the 80s and 90s? The
honorable mention?
Yes. Yes.
I gotta hear your list, man. Fam, if you say Jason Statham or someone in your top 10, I will slap you.
Jason Statham, honorable mention.
Okay, that's fine.
Because he's done so many movies that people don't even think about when it comes. He just done Crank. He's done Mechanic. He's done Delivery Man. What's the Delivery Man?
Transporter?
Yeah, Transporter. Plus everything else. They all suck, but it's action and people watch it.
Fine.
Clint Eastwood. You want to talk about one of the OG action movie stars, Clint Eastwood, fam. He's famous for lines like Dirty Harry, fam. I mean, come on. Chuck Norris, not relevant anymore.
Fine.
But absolutely.
Yeah, but you keep arguing that. You keep arguing who's relevant and then who's not relevant.
No. The difference is if you're a Hall of Famer but not relevant, you go over someone who's not a Hall of Famer but not relevant. Is Wesley Snipes a Hall of Famer? No, at least not compared to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Schwarzenegger is like unanimous first ballot, and Wesley Snipes is like maybe he barely get in, or like the competition committee will put him in or whatever.
He'll get in.
Chill out, fam. Jason Statham, already mentioned him.
He was black doing karate. He was like, fam.
Because he's actually a karate man. Like he knows karate.
Still, Money Train?
Oh,
fam, come on, man.
Money Train was fire. And the other one that no one talks about is like, what is it, like Perfect Target or something? Or what's the one where...
Art of War?
Art of War, yeah.
Come
fire.
On, man. He's not in your top 10. Come on, man.
No, top 10 is top 10.
Your top 10. What else you got?
Vin Diesel, honorable mention. And last honorable mention, this is the one you could most argue should be in the top 10 because there's probably some people that would put him number one, Jackie Chan. Because Jackie Chan's career spans like 40 years of action movies. And if I was from China, he probably would be number one.
Come on, man. You got to be from China for Jackie Chan to be in your top 10 list?
No, I didn't say you have to. I'm saying it's more likely for someone from China to have him. Fam, there's actors from China like what's Donnie Yen or whatever does all the IP Man movies. I've never watched any of those, but some people would consider him number one. But I've never watched any of those.
I don't like those movies. They're too weird to me. Not weird, but like...
Well, it says subtitles. I mean, it's not something...
I love subtitles movies.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, fire. No, Super
Now
Fire.
you watch it. Like,
no, Super Fire. And the other one that was underrated was like The House of Knives or something like that. Came out 2004. That one might have been better than Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
It probably was.
Fire. I don't remember the name. Someone will correct me, but something like that. But the same girl who broke on the scene in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was in that movie.
I like her. She was in Rush Hour 2, I think. Same girl, right? Yeah. Number 10. Are you done?
Yeah.
Number 10. I'm going to do all 10. Number 10. Jackie Chan.
Okay, that's fine.
Bam.
Respect.
Rush Hours. Super Cop. Rumble in the Bronx. Only reason why
I didn't write any names of movies down. I just figured I'd go off the top.
I love Jackie Chan. Only reason why I have him at number 10 is because I hate it because he never wanted to fight. Every movie he was in, he was always like, no, and then beat up everybody. You gotta go fight somebody, all right? Number 9, Steven Seagal. Under Siege is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Under Siege. Under Siege, Hard to Kill, fam.
Hard to Kill, yeah, absolutely.
Now, he's the one I have on my list that was a bad actor. I mean, he's a...
Oh yeah, he's terrible. In every movie, he breaks someone's arm.
I mean,
that's the key thing in every movie is to break an arm. You got to break one arm per movie at least.
Number 7, this might throw you maybe a little bit, unless you got it. I got Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks has some of the greatest movies of all time. Apollo 13, Road to Perdition, Catch Me If You Can.
I mean, it's fine, but
Saving Private Ryan.
Listen, it's fine. It's not someone you can say can't be on a list, but it's not someone I think about when I'm thinking.
I don't think about it. That's why I have him low. But his action movies are fire movies. Saving Private Ryan might be the greatest military movie of all time.
It's in the discussion. It may not be the best, but it's in the discussion. Yeah.
Number 8. I'm sorry. I mixed my list up. Sorry. Number 8 was Tom Hanks. Number 7, Gerard Butler. Oh, you know what? Man, I messed my list up. Sorry. Number 10, Jackie Chan. Number 9, Steven Seagal. Number 8, Gerard Butler. I got Gerard Butler.
That's weird. He can't be in the top 10.
Huh?
Not with all these other lists.
300? All the Fallen? What are you talking about? Den of Thieves?
He can't
Rock and Rolla?
Yeah, so you put him in honorable mention. There's no way he can be in over any of the people I named in honorable mentions who didn't even make
one
my
of my
list.
favorites. One of my favorites.
Yeah, that's fine.
So
but
he's number 8.
He can't be in.
Number 7 was Tom Hanks. Like I said, Apollo 13, Road to Perdition. All those movies, love those. Number 6, I got Harrison Ford. Number 6, we got Indiana Jones. We got Star Wars. We got The Fugitive.
Yep.
We got Blade Runners, Patriot Games, Air Force One. You know, the list goes on. Number 5, I got Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Clearly, Die Hards could be probably the number 1 action movies of all time if you really wanted to. Okay.
I'm not going to go that far, but yeah, he's in the
Die
top
Hard,
10.
Boy Scout.
Undoubtedly.
16 blocks. Number 4, you can argue he should be number 1. I got Liam Neeson. I mean...
Nah, he's not even anywhere on my list.
Huh?
Nope.
None of his movies suck.
Yeah, but they're all the same. And he's also not the person you think of when you say action star. That's not the person I think of.
You have to.
No.
He only in the action movies.
No, he's done a lot of stuff that's like drama as well.
He's done a few things.
Yeah, now he's not doing comedies, obviously.
Now he's done, 3 Takens? He did Cold Pursuit. He did The Grey.
Actually, Cold Pursuit's a comedy, so he did do a comedy, but he's not like being funny. Oh, no, it's a comedy. We talked about that movie when it first came out. First of all, that movie is well written.
Comedy.
Fam, immediately after someone died, they put the thing up on the screen with the cross. Someone would die, and that's a comedy.
It's a comedy, not slapstick comedy, though. That's what you call it. You call it a slapstick.
It's not Animal House or Airplane, but guess what? When you put that cross up, you trying to be slapstick. You trying to be funny.
Fam, Liam Neeson got to be in your top 5. He's number 4 for me.
No, he's not even close. Not even honorable mention.
Number 3. This was hard. I got Keanu Reeves. Now, I got Keanu Reeves at number 3 because, obviously, the Wick movies. And then Matrix is considered... I mean, come on. We're talking about Matrix here. Like, it's one of the... Come on. Point Blank, Speed. Speed is still one of my favorite movies of all time.
Those are 2 of the greatest movies in action movie history. And then when you add in that he was also in the Matrix and Wick...
He could be... No, you could argue number 1 if you wanted to.
Just wait till I get to my list.
Number 2. Come on, man. Number 2, man, I got Tom Cruise.
You missing some people, fam.
Number 2, I got Tom Cruise. All right. Now, Stallone, I know what you think is Stallone, which I would have Stallone over Schwarzenegger, but, I mean, come on. I didn't.
You missing the people, fam.
Tom Cruise, Mission Impossibles, World, Minority Report, Edge of Time. Come on. We're talking about Tom Cruise here. Reaper, man. What's his name? Jack Reaper?
You missing some people, fam.
Number 1, Wesley Snipes. To me, Only because I just love Wesley Snipes movies.
Oh, yeah,
they're so good, they're so bad. Man. Like I love watching Wesley Snipes movies. Dude. He pulled his burner out and then he like changed his mind to a back roundhouse kick. I'd be like, yo, you should shot him. I mean, come on, Art of War, Passenger 57. Come on, man.
Oh, you tripping?
Now, should he be number one over some of these people? Maybe not, but he's my favorite. I can watch any Wesley Snipes movies on earth, all right? You could argue Jungle Fever was an action movie because he was dangerous, man. He was doing some...
Are you feeling okay?
All right. That's my list, fam. Number one, Wesley Snipes.
Are you feeling okay?
Expendables. All these people were in Expendables. Bruce Willis? Come on, Armageddon? Armageddon is probably the greatest world-ending movie of all time.
Are you feeling okay?
All right, what you got?
Number 10. Someone you didn't mention, even honorable mentions or on the list. I have no clue. Jean-Claude Van Damme.
No.
What is wrong with you?
No. None.
What is wrong with you?
No. Only
every single movie he did was an action movie.
No, action, but they sucked.
Only didn't.
There's only like 2 movies. Bloodsport.
Just wait till
Bloodsport.
Just wait.
Fire.
Just wait.
All the other ones, ridiculous. Some of the worst. The worst actor than Steven Seagal.
No, he's not. Kickboxer.
He is the worst actor than Steven Seagal. Oh, man. That's crazy.
Okay, number 1, he's like Belgian. So
I don't care what he is.
And number 2, no, he's not worse than Steven Seagal.
Way worse than Steven Seagal.
Not even close.
Period.
It's not even close. Okay. Just wait. You just wait till you find out from people. Number 9, this is like a low-key pick. I'm shocked you didn't have him on your list. Will Smith. Will Smith is an action superstar.
I don't think of that, Will Smith.
What are you talking about? Independence Day, Men in Black. You can go down the list. Action movie superstar.
I mean, what?
Yes, I am Joker. I am Taken. What's that movie?
I Am Legend.
Every movie, robot movie where the robots are jumping out of the fam. Action,
You're right.
Action superstar. I don't know. He's an action superstar. Hancock. Action superstar. You go down the list. He's every movie he does. Bad Boys 1, 2, 7, 9, 14. Fam. Will Smith? Yes.
Fine, man.
Number 8, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, because he is the number 1 action superstar for the last 15 years. He has to be in the top 10.
I will mention.
No, he has to be in the top 10. He is. As of right now, he is number 1. He's number 2 or number 1 as of right now. But the only other argument is someone I have number 2, and I'll say it.
Yeah, but I don't have a rock movie.
Actually, number 3.
I don't have a rock movie I love.
Yeah, you do. Fast and the Furious. All of them are good.
He was only in the last like 3. He wasn't in any of the first.
They've done 14 or so. He's in more than 3.
He's only in 3.
Him, he's been more than 3. He had his own movie spinoff, and he's been in at least 4 of the other ones.
He was in 7, 8, 9, and then Hobbs and Shaw. That's 4.
No.
Yes.
Damn, he started in like the 4th one. What are you talking about? Brazil.
That was like Fast 7 or something, or Fast or something.
No, it was not.
No.
Go look at your stuff.
No. You should have Vin Diesel over him if you're going to base it off Fast and Furious.
What are you talking about? Who said anything about Fast and Furious?
You did.
No, it's one movie you add to the list. The Rock is the highest paid action movie.
Cool, I know that, but I don't have a favorite rock movie. What's a favorite rock movie of yours? I have a favorite of every one of these. A favorite.
That doesn't make it a top 10 list.
I have a few favorites of a lot of favorites.
Every movie he's in is good.
Okay.
Yes. He is.
I'm entertained.
He is a good. You talk about bad actors. He's a good actor doing action. Yes. Rundown, fire. No one thought he could do Rundown.
That was his best movie of all time. Okay. Well, name a better one.
What do you mean? That's his best. No, I'm not doing this with you. The listeners are going to think you're crazy.
Go ahead.
And they should.
Go.
Number 7, Mel Gibson doesn't even need to be. Lethal Weapon is one of the greatest franchises in world history.
Fine.
Doesn't even need to be mentioned. Fine. Number 6, Harrison Ford.
Yep.
2 of the greatest franchises ever in history. Star Wars and Indiana Jones.
Facts.
And he did other
he was
stuff.
in Clear and Present Danger.
Yes, exactly. All the Jack Ryan movies.
That's why he's on my list.
Yes. Number 5, Sylvester Stallone. How you can't have the person who did Rocky and
Rambo
on your list is insane to me.
Yeah,
I looked at some things. They had Stallone number 1 overall.
I wasn't a fan of Rambo's. All right, I loved watching.
Well, that's because you're an insane person.
But I wasn't a fan of Rambo's.
You're an insane person.
Man, he's a whack actor.
Fam, you have Wesley Snipes number 1, and you talking about whack actors? Like,
you think Wesley Snipes is a bad actor?
Are you?
Fam, no joke. I will do karate in this room. You think Wesley Snipes is a bad actor?
What I mean, what are you talking about here? Being able to like read lines and seem like you're like in a role? Who's a better actor, Rock or him or Wesley Snipes?
Okay,
Who's just answer the question?
Wesley Snipes.
Okay, you obviously drunk some Kool-Aid or some kind of poison before you came to the episodes. Well, the listeners are going to be on your neck like every other top 10 you do.
Wesley Snipes is a better actor than The Rock. The Rock acted better as a WWF wrestler than he does on movies. Go ahead.
Fam,
I love The Rock too. Don't get that twisted.
Fam, I don't have time for you.
I'm not buying his shoes, but I love it.
I don't have time for you. Number 4, Bruce Willis, Die Hard franchise.
Cool. Agree.
He did that one
16 Blocks. He did
that. That was a good movie with Mos Def. He did the one where they kidnapped the family or whatever, and he has to negotiate with the.
He's done a lot of straight to DVD movies.
Matter of fact, Samuel L. Jackson probably should have been in my honorable mentions too.
Ooh, he should have made the list.
Totally forgot about him. He should have been honorable mentions.
We disrespected.
No, he's not ahead of any of these top 10 on here. Number 3, who a lot of people argue is number 1, Arnold Schwarzenegger. We went down a list of movies already. You can't make a list without him. Number 2. Potentially, you could argue is the greatest action actor of all time. I won't, because I put him number 2 for a reason. He's the most relevant right now, I think, even though number 1 still is making movies, and we're dying to go see one of them. Number 2, Keanu Reeves. The John Wick series might be the greatest action series of all time. To me, at least one like you're talking about, like a solo actor carrying a series. Not comparing to Avengers or whatever, where you have like 27 superheroes.
Well, I mean, John Wick.
Keanu Reeves was in Speed, Point Break, Matrix. All those movies are relevant in different decades,
You know what? Like, John Wick shouldn't be as good as it is. Like, it really shouldn't, because like, it's done so well. We're talking about colors, scene, rain, snow, whatever elements they put in there. Camera shots.
It's current.
The camera shots in John Wick 3, some of the greatest camera shots I've seen. When they let the 2 dogs loose, him and Halle Berry, and the dogs had their own camera, and the camera, and you could see everybody fight at the exact same time. I told her, I really watch this. Look at this. I said, look at the dog over here, he over here, she up there. Like, you can see everybody fight at the same time. Phenomenal. Matrix was groundbreaking, groundbreaking. With John Wick, I'm gonna call that groundbreaking as well. I mean, it was funny at first to see somebody who could never miss when he shot a gun, but it was tight.
It's still funny though. To this day, I laugh in the theater. I don't care if I'm the only one. I laugh.
I'd be like, ooh, I gotta get a burner.
No, that movie is funny.
It makes me want to wear a suit and do
another person that you potentially could have put in your list. I don't think he belongs in the top 10, but maybe honorable mention is Matt Damon, obviously only for Bourne series, but Bourne series is one of the best written and best movies series in action history. It would rival John Wick and whatever else. Number 1 is the longest, most relevant action actor of all time. Why you don't have him number 1 is absolutely insane.
I mean, come on, I had him at number 2. The
reason why I wanted to do this list is I was watching Point Break last night, which is what made me think of it. I seriously considered putting Keanu number 1, but he can't be over Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is absolutely instant gold in every movie he's in, every franchise. Mission Impossible, Top Gun, War of Worlds, the one where he's with the girl, Oblivion, that one,
Jack Reaper,
yes, exactly, Reacher, but yeah,
Reacher, Last Samurai,
one of the greatest actors, period, of all time, and definitely the greatest action actor of all time.
Top Gun.
And I was gonna put Keanu number 1, and I was like, wait a second,
I had Keanu number 1.
I was like, wait a second, there's still Mission Impossible movies and Top Guns coming out right now. Tom Cruise absolutely is still relevant.
I got number 2 Tom Cruise. I got number 3 Keanu Reeves. Number 1.
I don't know. I didn't say you got that part wrong.
My number 1 is strictly because my favorite. Well, should it be or not?
Listen,
that's debatable.
I didn't say you got that part wrong.
Liam Neeson also played Ra's al Ghul in Batman's fam. Dark Rises. Liam Neeson should be on a list.
Name one of the 10 that he should be over. That's the thing. That's what I said to you. Name one of my 10. No, name one of my 10 he should be over.
It's a hard list. I just
it is, but you put him at like 5. Which one is he over? Jean-Claude Van Damme? No. Is he over Will Smith? No. Is he over The Rock? No.
See, I made this list like these are movies I love. I don't love a single Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. There are some good ones. Kickboxer, Bloodsport, good ones. I don't love any of them.
Yes, I love all of them. The one where he's in Hard Target or whatever in New Orleans. I love that movie. He goes.
I hate that movie.
Wilford Brimley with that accent and coming out of he shoots and blows that the
Hard Target.
He blows that whatever up with that moonshine, and he rides out with the bow and arrow on that horse. Fam, that scene is fire.
Fam,
get it? Fire.
Target is awful.
No, it's not. It's not even close to being awful.
Oh my god, Demolition Man. Oh my god, with him and Dennis Rodman. Not Demolition Man. That wasn't Rodman. That was Stallone.
That's Wesley Snipes, fam.
No, Wesley Snipes. What was
Rodman was Double Trouble or something
Double
like that.
Trouble with
or
Double something.
No.
Van Damme and Rodman. What was that?
I know, Double Trouble or something like that. He also did a movie where he fought himself.
Movies on earth.
He also did, whatever. Dennis Rodman's in it. No wonder. Time Cop, fire, absolute fire. You can't argue. You can't argue against the stuff Van Damme did.
Not a favorite movie.
The only reason he's not higher than 10 is because he stopped being relevant in like 2005, 2008.
Cold Pursuit, probably better than all those movies.
I mean, it's made in 2019 or whatever. You have more. It's more relevant. It's not. Him being an action star. No. He's not more of an action star.
If I said favorite movie, what is no? Okay.
When you think of action people, I don't think of Liam Neeson, despite him doing Taken.
That was it's just like first person I thought of.
No, it's not. It's just like doing. You say you don't. When I say Matt Damon, you don't think of action, but he's Jason Bourne, one of the greatest characters of all time.
But when I think of action movies, I also don't immediately think of Harrison Ford. I
yes,
don't.
you do.
No, I don't. I think no. Let me tell you something. The people you think of
Star Wars
movies, the people you think of action movies immediately. Tom Cruise, Keanu Reeves because of Wick. You think of
no, Keanu Reeves is because he's been relevant for 30 years.
Willis.
Yes. Die Hard is easy to remember. Schwarzenegger is the best in the top 5.
Fine.
Stallone, Rambo.
I don't have Stallone or
it doesn't matter if you don't have it. You said think of an action star.
But I don't. I like their movies now. I hated their movies when I was growing up. I did not care for any Stallone movie.
That's irrelevant.
Predator, yeah. And I thought about putting Carl Weathers in it. Though. Carl Weathers has been in some fire action movies, fam. He hasn't?
Fam, if you try to put Carl Weathers anywhere on this list, I swear I'll turn this table over. Now, Carl Weathers is fire, but don't ever do that.
Okay, don't do that.
No, you don't do that.
I watched Die Hard last night. Carl Winslow, fam. That movie is weird, but it's so fire.
He had to get them donuts, fam, or them Twinkies.
Carl Winslow was only a cop, man. He was a cop in Family Matters, Die Hard. His occupational hazard. I got nothing else. You got anything else? All right. Appreciate the homies Kevin P from the Philly Gallery. Appreciate High Club.
Don't appreciate Greg's list.
Wine. Appreciate the Dodgers for being who you are. I encourage everybody to buy
who you are.
Fam. This hat fits a skull perfectly, though.
Not this one. This is a little big, but that's all right. I can shrink it.
Anything else? That's the sneak test. Let's go home. Pow, pow, pow.